What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your humble YouTube live stream host, Timothy J. Ward, back with another live stream. I hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, midnight, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a blessed time. Today, I wanted to talk about a topic that I love talking about. Okay. And it's a topic that a lot of people, I know don't totally agree with me on. I think it's one that it's sometimes it's hard to grasp because it goes against everything we've been taught. Um, how's it going, Easton? Break the chains, Angelo, Fin Dog, how you doing? Good to see y'all. Today I want to talk about the fact that we don't need to take life so seriously. We don't need to take life so seriously. Honestly, one of the best techniques that I have been able to incorporate in my life that has allowed me to I feel like live life on a higher level than I used to is the fact that I no longer take life very seriously. That's why I can do things like put a tie on for no reason. Who wears a tie with a t-shirt? I do. Because honestly, there was a time in my life where I took life very seriously and I fell for the programming that said that life has to be very serious and you have to achieve certain metrics, and if you don't do certain things on your time on this planet, then it's a wasted life. I used to believe in all that, and I used to really feel like there were certain things that had to be done and you had to be serious and stern about it, and if it didn't, I don't believe none of that now. I don't believe in all that. I don't believe in all that. And part of the reason, and this was something I was thinking about recently, part of the reason I don't think life has to be serious is because I look around me. This is something we got to learn to do. We got to learn to not look at our human crap and look at the planet as a whole, right? A lot of times we focus only on our human stuff. When we stop focusing on just the human stuff and we start looking around us, I noticed that nothing else takes life serious. You know what I mean? I just start looking around at nature and just everything else. And I'm like, no other organism on this planet takes life serious. Like everything else plays. You know what I mean? Like everything else just plays and exists and enjoy. Like nothing you don't see anything else with a scowl on its face. You don't see anything else stressed out. You know what I mean? Everything plays. Now there might be serious moments. You know what I mean? But I just look at even stuff like the wind. You ever felt just like a gentle breeze going through the trees or blowing on your face or playing with the leaf? You see a leaf going in the wind. That's the wind playing. That's the wind enjoying itself, having fun. Now there might be moments like during a hurricane where the wind gets real, but most of the time, I'm like everything plays. I watch water just a babbling brook, or you watch water just like the tide coming in, the wave tide go out, the waves go in, the waves go out. That's the water playing. It's not serious. You know what I mean? I just start to look around and I'm like, why does everything else just kind of it's here, it does what it does. You see elements of play in it. Every now and then it might get real, but then it goes back to playing. Why are we humans the only organism here, you know what I mean, that takes it so serious? That acts like it has to be just this very important thing. It's like, no. And even when we're kids, you know what I mean? When we're small children, we don't view the world that way. When we're small children before the programming, we don't view the world that way. There's nothing serious about it. You wake up in the morning, you have fun. You do things you like. Then you go to bed, start it all over again. It's just as we get older that society puts this ideal in our heads that there's something serious. And what and what would that be? You know what I mean? Our the eventuality, no matter how we live our lives, no matter what we do, the eventuality is the same, and we all know this. I honestly think death is like a pressure release valve to keep us from having to be serious and take life serious. It's like, hey, and I think that's the reason why we know we're going to die. Death could be a thing that we didn't know about, but we all know it. And I think it's put there to be like, hey, you don't have to take this life thing so serious, get all worked up about it. It's going to end one day. I think it allows us to enjoy, it should allow us to enjoy life more because there's no long term consequences no matter what happens. 90 years is not long term in the eyes of the universe. No matter how we live our lives, there's no long term consequences. It ends. So you might as well enjoy it. You might as well have fun. You can be as serious as you want for the whole 85, 90 years you're here. Guess what? Actually, you probably won't be here that long because if you take it that serious, you're probably going to heart attack or stroke out or something early. It won't, being serious doesn't change anything positively. Why not laugh? Why not joke? Why not have fun? Why not see the beauty in existence? You know, the Bible even says, if you believe that the Bible says that man is made in God's image, the fact that we have a sense of humor shows that God must have a sense of humor. So then obviously, like, that which is wants us to like have fun and enjoy ourselves. Nothing we can do during this existence has any real like long-term ramifications. Now, I'm not saying go out there and just, I still have a moral code. There's things I will and won't do. Even if I don't think it has long-term ramifications, I think it has ramifications now. So I'm not saying this to be like, just go do, I mean, you can do what you want, but you know what I mean? But as far as feeling like there's certain things we have to do, like certain metrics we have to meet, certain like things we have to get done in this life, like what? Other than stuff like taking care of your family and things of that nature, like all this other stuff doesn't need to come on, bro. Work doesn't need to be serious. Once we get comfortable, finances don't need to be serious. Like all this stuff we get so worked up about. The things we don't have. The things we like, it's just, I don't know. I just see people, you know, especially this day and age. A lot of stuff going on in the news. People just getting so worked up, so serious. At the end of the day, like there's times where we're going through like pain and there's times when we're not. Right? Pain and suffering, sadly, is a part of this life. And those are times like life gets real, yes. And I'm not saying there aren't times when life gets real. But like even pain and suffering doesn't have to be serious. That's a hard one for people to grasp. I lose a lot of people when I say that. But even like pain and suffering doesn't have to be serious. It's going to be what it's going to be. It's real. It sucks. But even that doesn't mean life has to be serious. Like life can be fun, as fun as possible at all times. Laugh, joke, enjoy yourself. You don't have to be all just worked up and just holding on so tight and just having to, it's even hard to put into words what I'm really trying to say. But it's like we can just have fun with this thing. We can just enjoy this thing. If you're someone like me, you can be silly and stupid with it. Like, like it's just not, we're not meant to be here and stress about this life our whole life. We're not meant to be here and think that we're doing it wrong our whole life. It's something I've been really big on lately, is just that like I just see people so down on themselves and so serious about like their life and getting it right and I got to do this and I'm like what's the end game? If you're going to spend your whole life thinking you're a horrible person and you're doing it wrong, if you're going to spend your whole life trying to fix yourself, what is your end game? Your whole life you think you're broken trying to fix yourself? I think it's easier just to be like, hey, this is who I am. You know what I mean? I'm gonna try to do as much growing as I can while I'm here, but this is who I am. I'm gonna enjoy being this. I got some things I want to work on, but I'm gonna enjoy and have fun being this as I work on it. And I'm not gonna be down on myself my entire life for things I really have no control over. Bro, like none of us are gonna be perfect. We get so serious about being perfect and getting things right. No one gets things right. Nobody's perfect. Everybody screws up. You'll notice that the people who screw up and admit they screw up seem to go through this life thing a lot easier. Part of the reason I tell most of my business, the good, the bad, the ugly, the disgusting, is, is because it makes my life easier. Missy Modu, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad in the building. I appreciate that love. Thank you. Mic drop. The reason I tell all my stuff, it makes my life easier. I don't have a lot of baggage. I don't have a lot of secrets. I got a couple. But even those, there's somebody who in my life who knows it. I don't have all this baggage, all this extra stuff I'm carrying around, and I'm so scared that people might find out about it. Nah, I'm gonna tell you, it's not serious. The whole world could laugh at me and be like, "Oh, that Timothy Ward is a loser. He's blah blah blah." So, and nothing changes. It doesn't. It doesn't. I'll tell you, once you really realize that this life is just it's temporary. We're here on this amazing, beautiful planet to experience what it's like to be a human, observe, take in, learn. But there's nothing like that has to be done. It's not. It's just like a journey. It's like a roller coaster, bro. Like you, you hop on, the highs, the lows, the woos, the ass. You get off. It's not like, you know what I mean. There's no. The only things to accomplish are the things you want to accomplish. The only things to accomplish in this life are the things you want to accomplish, that you decide you want to accomplish. All this other stuff, just people came up with it to keep you enslaved. The only things I need to accomplish in this life are the things I feel I need to accomplish, and that is very little. Do right by my fellow humans, be there for my loved ones, take care of this body. What else is there? There's nothing else. What I got to be worked up over? And if when the situations arise, when hard times hit, I just got try to keep doing those things to the best of my ability. There's gonna be, times when this life is rough. It might suck. That don't make it serious. It just means it sucks. I try to laugh at the suck. Not always easy to do. Not always easy to do. Easier said than done. But that doesn't make it serious. It's still the same. The game is still the same, like the people who've learned to just kind of let go and accept this life for what it is seem so much happier. That's why I be trying to follow them type of people. I look at like the wise men and women throughout history who just seem to have it figured out. And that's one thing I noticed. Almost to a person, they're all just like, you know what I mean? You never see most of them like holding on to anything. You must do this. Although you must do people are very uptight and just don't seem very happy. All the you must do people seem very agitated. I like listening to the people who just like, I'm here. I'm existing. I'm learning. But what's your purpose? Eh? Someone messaged the other day on one of my videos and they were like, well, what's the point of this life? I was like, does it have to have a point? And they were like, well, then why am I here if it doesn't have a point? I'm like, that's asking the same question again, but I feel like a happy person never asks what's the purpose in life. Someone who's enjoying life never asks, why am I here? And I think that the getting to that point is where the goodness in life lies. When you just get to the point where it's like, I'm just here doing this life thing. There's things that pop in my head that I think I would enjoy doing. I'm gonna do them. And the reason I really love giving this message out to younger people is because most of us had a time in our life when we had almost no responsibilities. And if we had been told at that age, hey, before you take on all this other responsibility that a lot of it you probably do not want, and it's going to take away lots of your freedom, realize that all you really have to do, Mr. 18-year-old, Miss 19-year-old, is just get through this thing. and experience the things you want to experience. I think a lot of people, if they'd gotten that message young, would have lived completely different lives. But they didn't get that message. They got the other message that said, oh, you have to be successful. You have to be somebody. You have to achieve something. No one tells you why. You never know. No one tells you why. Oh, you got to be successful. You got to achieve something. They make it seem like it's like, oh, so like, you'll be able to take care of yourself, all this other stuff. But you can do that without achieving something. Yeah, you get it. You have to feed yourself. You got to have a place to live. We all know this innately. If we didn't tell kids they had to be somebody and be successful, they still would do that. But to put out this ideal that there's so much you have to do in this life or it was a wasted life. But it's like, bro, there's been trillions of people who did all that. They died. No one knows about them. Like, what? It doesn't, it's, once you see that, like, oh, I'm just here to experience this existence, all that stuff falls away. I literally met all the, and we live in a society where like you're constantly bombarded by it. So it is always a fight to like push it away because it's gone, but then it starts to creep back in. You gotta, you're constantly having to remind yourself like this don't mean nothing. But a lot of that anxiety falls away. You stop caring what other people think. Like, what does someone else thoughts about me matter when like none of it matters? It's hard to put into words because it is so simple. Like, why do I care what you think about me? Like, who are you? Like, your opinion isn't important. Your opinion isn't serious. Your opinion of me is not serious because life is not serious. So why do I care what you think about me? If life is fun and happy to me as much as possible, I'm not going to start, being down and depressed because you don't like me. Like, I'm, who are you? If I am trying to let go of ego and accept that I'm nothing but just like a fleeting existence as a human right now, why am I going to care what you think? You're just here experiencing this planet just like me. Neither one of us are important. Neither one of us are anything. If I don't think I'm anything special and I don't think you're anything special, why would I think your opinion matters in the slightest bit? Come on. Come on. Hey, King Alan Gracious. Thank you. 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 Appreciate that. Super Chat Squad. It says Zaza D, now create your YouTube channel. Sup Tim. Sup, sup, sup. I get the sup Tim part. I'm a little confused about the other stuff, but hey, go for it. Go. Yeah, exactly. What you said. Appreciate that love. Thank you. Thank you for that generous super chat. I really appreciate that. Thank you. King Alan Creations. I got you. Thank you. Thank you. Super Chat Squad. There must have been something going on in the chat that I missed. I apologize. Yeah, when when I'm in my bag, it's hard to, I'm not really in the chat. Yeah, I apologize if I something going on I didn't catch. Oh, now I'm curious. What are we doing? It's too much going on. Too much in the chat. I can't get caught up. Wore the tie today just to be silly. Just to be. I said, what? just to be silly. It's none of it serious, bro. It's not serious. Like, it's existence. It is what it is. I've been thinking a lot about like ego lately, which a lot of people talk about ego, which I get it. But yeah, I'm like, the ego is really just like an illusion we create. Like this whole, I am Timothy Ward and I'm this and I'm this and the whole it's we just create that. It's not real. It's an illusion. It's like it's like a border between countries. We came up with that. There's nothing there. We just come up with it. Oh, this is where the U.S. starts and Mexico stops. We come up with that, and then all this craziness happens because of this imaginary line. You were born here, so you can't go over here, and if you go over there, blah 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 blah. It's not real. We just make this stuff up. The ego is kind of the same. We just like make it up. This idea that we're something special, something important. This is me. And if you do this, it bruises my ego. It's not real. Like it's not, we just make it up. Once you learn that, it's like, well, then I can start deconstructing it. Spent 43 years constructing this ego. Well, now I can start deconstructing it and just realize like none of that stuff don't matter. It won't change anything. I don't have to live this life trying to be something living in a way so that other people think a certain thing about me. There's things I want to do, I try to do them. Things I enjoy doing, I try to do them. If I don't get them all done, perhaps the next life. If I don't achieve certain stature in life, all right, it does. Stature doesn't mean anything anyway. Unless it means something to you. But a lot of times people don't care about the stature, they care about what other people think about the stature. A lot of times people don't care about the money, they just want other people to know they have the money for the stature and the status. If you stop caring about stature and status, like a lot of this other stuff people do, it goes out the window. Like I don't have to work myself to the bone when I'm already comfortable to make more money to buy nicer things when I don't care what people think about what I got. I want people to say, hey, that Tim was a decent guy. That's about it. Hey, Spicy Punk Rapper, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad, thank you. Says, do you agree with ego is edging God out? I could agree with that. I could rock with that. Yeah, I could rock with ego being you. Yeah, the more you're in tune with the ego, the more you're pushing out that which is. So I could rock with that. Super Chat Squad, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, King Allen Creations, thank you, thank you, thank you. Coming through again. Okay. Says at Ray, yes, it's real. I appreciate Tim's videos. Stopped drinking for a good 6 months because of them. I'm being weird today. King Allen Creations, I appreciate that. Hey, I appreciate that love, man. I really appreciate that love. Thank you. Appreciate that love. Thank you. And I'm so happy. Talk up that 6 months, man. That's real. Whenever my content can help somebody, exercise, a monkey on their back. That's amazing. So keep that up. Let's go on. See, life can get real from time to time. You know what I mean? But like it's not serious. There's real moments. But like we don't have to just take it so serious and walk around with our stomachs knotted up all the time. Just man, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not, bro. Like we're not nothing. None of us are anything, man. We're the wind in the trees. We're the sun on the sidewalk. You know what I mean? Like we're the waves of the ocean. We look at all that stuff and just take it for granted. It exists. It does what it does, right? That's what we are. Everything else looks at us. Oh, that's one of them humans doing what humans do. It's nothing. It's everything, but also nothing. Like it's nothing special, nothing important. That is a construct of our minds that we're important. That's something we came up with. Oh, I'm this, I'm that. No, we're just, you see that roach you about to step on? You just as important as that roach. Everything's equally as important because everything is everything. Everything makes up everything. Just as important as any of this other stuff we take for granted. Don't think it means anything. We're just as important, just as unimportant. It's all the same game. You can just take a deep breath, let all that expectation and stuff go. That's not to say you can't have goals and dreams, yes, and want to go after them. But here's the thing about goals and dreams. When you have a goal or a dream and you really want to do it, a lot of times it doesn't have like that same seriousness as when like society puts expectations on us. Because when you got a goal or a dream, The process is part of it. So as long as you're going towards it or going after it, there's a level of excitement and enjoyment. Now you might have, some anxiety, like, man, I might not make it. We've all had stuff you really want to do. And as the day got closer, you got anxious, like, man, I might not be able to do it. I just hope everything works out so I can do it, blah, blah, blah. I'm getting closer. We have that. But even that is like a nervous anticipation, nervous excitement because you're getting closer, you are achieving. There's good in that. So we're like going after like societal stuff that we really don't want to do. That's when it's all that weird, serious anxiety. And the fact that you low key don't really want to do it, I mean, like even when it ain't even the same kind of nervous excitement. It's just more like, oh, I have to make this work, or my parents will judge me. I have to make this work, or this. It's not a good excitement. It's like a dread. It's like a dread, like I have to make this work. Like that's not living. Like I'm always saying, you don't have to do anything. Do some stuff if it makes you happy, but you don't have to do anything. Got some grapes going on. Try a healthy breakfast. Love you too, Mike. Thank you. No expectation. Other than the expectation to like do the stuff I want to do. Like so I'm saying, I want young people to get this message so like they can design their lives in a manner that like because a lot of people, adults, we have to start, we got stuff going on by the time like we maybe start to think along these lines. And it takes a while to reroute stuff. Young people, they ain't really got nothing going on. They could design their lives from the beginning to just have like a life of adventure and experiences. And then that's an amazing life. If from the time you're 18, 17, 18, you're like, hey, I just want a life of adventure and experiences, whatever that looks like to you. Even if that encompasses, career and family and all that. But you're going to have a career that excites you, a career you want to get up and go to every day. You're going to be with or marry someone that it's an adventure with that person, hopefully a good adventure. You know what I mean? Like you can do any of the stuff everyone else does if that's what you want to do, but the manner in which you do it, doing it in a not serious, playful, enjoyable, very little ego manner is different than like most people do it in this like I have to achieve this, I have to achieve that, I have to do this, I have to do that. And it's just like, man, like what do you don't get anything out of that. I feel like you miss out on the what life is really about. And that's just like existing and enjoying and observing and just like being here. Being here. You know what I mean? If you ever had a moment where you stopped and were like, man, I am so happy in this moment. Like I am so grateful for this moment. You know what I'm talking about? If you've ever been in a moment, and I think the less that's happening in that moment, the more profound sometimes the moment feels. But if you've ever had any type of moment where you were just in that moment and just got like over stopped and just got like overwhelmed by gratitude and was like, man, I'm so happy for this moment. I feel so blessed to be alive. Like, yes, you get it. You get it. But normally in society, we're always looking forward. We're always looking to the future. We're beating ourselves up about the past, and we're looking towards the future to get us up out of whatever. Like I did this, do this. I gotta be doing this when this happens. When this happens, blah 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 blah. It's like, bro, like here, life happens in the moment. Life is just a series of moments, and I think living life is like is something super serious keeps us from being able to enjoy the moment, and that's what the good stuff is. Like right now, just which is one of the reasons I love meditation because it forces me to like be in a moment and not be thinking about all this other stuff. Like just bring it here, and realize how peaceful, how enjoyable this Like when you sit and spend time thinking, like doing nothing and realizing how special it is, then you start to be like, oh, so like I don't have to do anything. So a lot of this other stuff I feel like I have to do, I don't really, because like just being in this moment here doing nothing is amazing. Why am I cramming my life with all this other stuff? That ain't doing nothing for me. Everything else on this planet plays. Everything else is just does what it does and goes about its business. We're the only ones that get all worked up. We're the only ones that look that far in the future. And I gotta, everything else just exists. It's just here. It does what it does. The seasons come, the seasons go. If something bad happens in the future, get to that when I get to it. That's what everything else on the planet does, except us. I've often wondered why. Maybe there's something to having to learn that lesson. I don't know. I've often wondered, like, why do we as humans like seem so different? But we are. So I just try to learn the lessons that maybe I was put here to learn, or that are out there to learn. Try not to overthink it. I'll get caught up in thought sometimes, and I'm like, wait, Tim, you're taking this way too serious. Like, what I mean? Like, you may not be able to figure the answer out as a human. Maybe one day it'll hit you. Like, you know, think about it a little bit, but is it, even if you've come to the answer, it's still the same life. You know what I mean? These grapes are good. I probably should have washed them. It's okay. It's okay. Thank you, Nicole. Appreciate you too. Thank you. Yeah, I definitely think that, and I'm not demonizing social media, because social media is us, but I definitely feel like, being plugged in, being on our devices, something always happening does something to our brain. Because like we're looking at people, we're constantly comparing ourselves to other people, or we're constantly seeing things we could buy, or like I think it's just a lot of that. It can really add to us just always feeling like, or even just the desire to post on social media. Oh, I need to come up with something for Instagram. Well, I've been there. You know what I mean? That happens on YouTube. I'll be honest. But like even just that, like I gotta, you know what I mean? Gets us in this perpetual, like it seems like something's always going on. So it's almost like, oh, we need to always stay caught up and always be doing something. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, like, don't get so caught up in like living that you don't enjoy life. I think that's the message. Don't get so caught up in living and trying to check all the boxes that you don't enjoy life, because like then what's the point? People love to talk about all the pain and suffering and the bad stuff, the inflation, the war, all this crazy stuff. Let's say for a minute we engage in all that. Let's say for a minute we talk about all that and we acknowledge all that. If you don't take time to enjoy your life, what is the point of putting up with all that other stuff? That's what I try to like tell people. I'm like, I don't really try to engage in all that stuff unless I have to. I just try to keep it out my life until I can't help but deal with it. I understand that stuff is out there. You know what I mean? But I don't need to have it in front of me nonstop. But I'm like, you would think that the people who do engage with that all the time would appreciate a life of like joy and levity and laughter and mirth and silliness even more. Right? You would think that the people who are always tapped into all that craziness in the world would be like, you know what? I'm definitely going to go out and have fun Friday night. Then I'm going to have to go with my friend. I'm definitely going to do what I love, what people I love, because all this craziness. But it's like the opposite. It's like the people who tap into all that are the most like serious people. It seems illogical. If you're not willing to allow yourself to enjoy life, like what's the point? You're gonna have to put up with some of this stuff. There's gonna be pain, there's gonna be suffering. You're going to have to put up with some of that stuff. You might as well, in the other time, the other 60% of your life or 70, whatever it is, you might as well have fun with it to offset that. 30% is gonna suck. This 70%, we gonna have fun. But it's just like people be like, oh man, 30% of life sucks. I might as well make the other 70% suck. That way the whole thing sucks because I like a sucky life. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Hey, Crypto Pip, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad. So yesterday, my former boss called me while I was sitting at Starbucks and fired me from a low-paying job that I hated. Now I can focus on my health and fitness goals and entrepreneurial endeavors. Nice, 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 nice. Hey, that's awesome, man. You know what I mean? I would have said thank you. Hey, boss, former boss, I appreciate you getting me up out of that low-paying job. Sometimes people do us a favor when they fire us because sometimes it's hard to leave. So that's awesome. Hey, and good luck with the health and fitness goals, entrepreneurial endeavors. You probably gonna remember that phone call rest of your life. You'll be telling, the great grandkids, yeah, man, the best day of my life is when I was sitting at Starbucks. Were you supposed to be at work and you just went to Starbucks? He's like, I ain't going in. I'm gonna go get me a mocha venti latte. Is that when they fired you? Anyway, that's awesome. Appreciate the love. Thank you, Crypto Pimp. Have fun with it. Have fun with it. Lee, you going to Yellowstone Club? Oh, cool. Yeah, they hiring a lot of people up there. But yeah, I feel like the more I look at life, the more I realize just how illogically we live it. And it has to be the programming. It has to be society telling us. Because left to our own devices, we wouldn't live life the way we do. It just doesn't make sense to me. I feel like left to our own devices, we would have that same childlike wonder that we were born with. Like the world's a huge place. All kinds of amazing stuff constantly going on. We'll never see it all. We'll never take it all in. So why is it that at like 12 we stop having that wonder? You think we would just naturally just wonder about the world and just want to spend this life experiencing this place we've been put? You know what I mean? But no, we get to an age where we're like, I'm gonna put that on hold. I gotta be an adult. Or one day I'm gonna be what they term an adult. So I better get real serious. I better stop having fun. Only on certain occasions. It's only okay to have fun on certain occasions. I gotta start taking this real serious because what? Like there's no payoff for living a serious life. You don't get years added to your lifespan. It's like, oh, you were serious your whole life. You were supposed to die at 75. Now you're going to die at 105. Thanks for the serious years, Bob. It doesn't happen that way. Usually it's the opposite. It's like, oh, you're supposed to die at 75, but you took this thing so serious, 63. You're welcome, Bob. You know what I mean? Like, nah, man, I'm having fun with it. Not going to take myself serious. Not going to take this life serious. Going to start breaking down the ego. Because my concept of Timothy Ward is something I came up with. No one else could do it. No one else can build your ego but you. No one else can build my ego with me. So obviously I had to come up with it. I wasn't born with ego. Kids don't care. Obviously I had to construct this ego and I had to set the parameters to like what offends me or what triggers me or how I feel like I need to be perceived by other people. I had to set those rules in place, right? Makes sense. I might have picked up some cues from outside, but like I had to be like, I like that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put that in my ego. So I'm gonna start breaking that down. I'm gonna start breaking that down. Chad said, "Do you believe in wasted time?" I believe that if you have goals and dreams that you uniquely have decided you want to go after, that there could be time better spent if you want to go after that goal. I don't believe in wasted time. No, because like what does that even mean? Like you whatever you do, that's time doing it. You know what I mean? You can't waste time. You're doing something. And every single moment in life is some type of learning experience, no matter what you do. I do feel like that if you're trying to achieve something, sometimes we could have spent our time better if we're trying to achieve that. But I don't believe in wasted time. I don't believe in looking back at life and be like, man, if only I hadn't done that. It's like that's what you wanted to do at the time. That's why when people are like, hey Tim, if you could do something different, I wouldn't do anything different. Because that was what I wanted to do at the time. That would imply I did something wrong back then. It's like, no, so yeah, I don't believe in wasted time. I just believe like you do what you do. And sometimes you could be like, yeah, if I was trying to do that, I probably should have. Sometimes I'll be like, man, if I'm trying to do X, Y, Z, yeah, instead of, okay, for instance, everyone knows I love to travel. I could have done more traveling in like 2021. I'd never say I wasted 2021. I still did some traveling, but I can look back and be like, yeah, I probably could have got off my butt and done a little more traveling and furthered my travel goal. But I don't think it was wasted time. Like I was doing other stuff. You're always doing something. You have to. Even doing nothing is doing something because you decided to do nothing. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't. I think that's another way we beat ourselves up unnecessarily. Man, I wasted so many years. Like, nah, you was doing something, and that was what you wanted to do at the time. A lot of times we'll look back at our past with our current knowledge and wisdom, which makes no sense. Obviously, when you was 20, you did some crazy 20-year-old stuff that 50-year-old you wouldn't do. But you can't look back and be like, man, I wasted all my. No, you was doing what the 20-year-old wanted to do, what 20-year-old you wanted to do, and those actions and behaviors led you to being smart, intelligent, wise 50-year-old you. It all comes together. It's all part of the same gumbo. You know what I mean? Different times you're putting in different ingredients that lead you to who you are now. You can't take if you like the gumbo now, you can't take something out of it. It'd be different. So that's why I always tell people I like who I am now. I wouldn't change anything in my past because I wouldn't be who I am now. If you like how the gumbo tastes, you can't take nothing out of it. It'd be, you mean? Yeah. So I don't believe in wasting time. Like I don't beat myself up. Like I did what I did. I am who I am, and I think we all are. But once again, too, like I want to keep growing. I want to keep learning. But say I never grew anymore. Say my growth stopped here. I have the same eventuality. You know what I mean? Like, we know how the movie ends. So like I just this idea that we constantly have to be trying to achieve something. I think we can let go of that and just be like, yeah, there's things I want to do, and I'm gonna try to do them. If not this life, maybe the next. And that just lets a lot of that pressure off of you. Even your dreams and stuff. It's like, hey, I'm gonna try, but if I don't get to it, it's fun trying. You know, be a good joke on my deathbed. Be like, man, I was almost there. You better take me now because I was about to get to that dream. You know what I mean? Like, there's no pressure. It's actually very simple. I agree with that guy, Reigns. The growth is in the living. You know what I mean? I said that's one thing that's really been bothering me is I see people working so hard to get life right. I'm like, just live. You know, working so hard to get life right. I'm like, I don't think there's a because there's no end to that. A, you're always going to be finding things wrong with you when you look. But B, like, there's unlimited growth as far as I can see in this existence. I don't know. Maybe there is some level of enlightenment that once you get to is done. I don't know. Maybe I haven't just got there. But as far as I can see, it just seems like there's unlimited growth. I just try to, the leveling up I enjoy doing, I try to do. I live by my moral code. I try to be a good person. What are they gonna say? Tim didn't have enough money. Tim didn't look a certain way. Tim didn't get enough women. Tim, like all this stuff people look down on you about really means nothing. All the stuff people judge you about really means nothing. All the stuff we judge other people about means nothing. That's when it really gets good. It's easy to be like, oh, this stuff people judging me about don't mean nothing. But when we find ourselves judging other people, and you're like, oh, Tim, wait, that don't mean nothing. You got to stop judging them. That don't mean, oh, that's a hard one. But it doesn't. None of the stuff means anything. I like when the people who care about me acknowledge good stuff that I'm doing. I like that. And I like to give my friends and loved ones their flowers. Oh, that's awesome. You do boom, boom, boom. Besides that, I don't care, bro. Like, I'm trying to get to where I totally don't care. I'm in society. I've been affected by the program, so I do still care some. But for the most part, I don't care, bro. Like, what does that mean? I'm not living my life the way you think I should. I haven't achieved the things at 43 that you think I should. You think I should. Okay, like I still get to watch NWA basketball, WNBA, excuse me. Wow, NWA. NWA basketball. That would be that's a show. That's a reality show. WNBA basketball. I still get to go on hikes. I still fly Delta. Jamonde, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Said I'll hire you on the spot with your tie on like that. Hey, I'm telling you, I look professional right here. I look professional today, boy. That looks like a nice little, what is that, a cravat? What do they call that? Yeah, I just threw the tie on today, man. Let's have fun. Let's be serious. Let's be not serious. Oh, that coffee's cold. Someone asked about kids. I personally don't want children. That once again, I respect people wanting kids and being parents. My parents were excellent parents. I just don't want kids because like I don't care about legacy. Some people want progeny. Is that the word? They want people to like live after them. I respect it. I don't care. I it means so little to me who I am that I really don't feel the need to there to be Timothy Jr. that lives on. Like I don't care. Like it doesn't. It's all you know. None of that means anything to me. So I respect people who does. I'm not saying it's a wrong belief or view. I just don't care about legacy. I don't need anything to live on. I'm good. Besides my kids, they probably crazy. I ain't trying to deal with that. So yeah, I'm fine having no children. Like the family name ending means nothing to me. Like I don't. It's not, bro. We're all human. Like the whole human race will end one day. I'm sure we'll do something crazy, or it'll just be our time. So like I really don't care if like my family name ends. Like what are you? Anyway, yeah. So yeah, some people concerned about that, and I respect it. I just don't. Like, what is that? Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, the Ward name disappears, and like, there's other people named Ward in the world. Soundbar. I don't know how many days I've been sober, but I've been sober over 4 years. So yeah, excited about that. That's a good point, Siegel. Who decides what the right thing is? That I always say, and I lose people on this one. There is no right or wrong. There's only what you think is right or wrong. There is no right or wrong. There's only what you believe is right or wrong. So I live my life based on my views of right and wrong. Now, are the things that seem to any given place you go, the majority of people think is wrong or think is right? Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's right or wrong. And a lot of that stuff depends on the situation. Most people say murder is wrong, but a lot of those same people will go to war and murder people. So, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that's wrong or right. I'm just saying that like a lot of it goes on context. Depends on the situation. So even stuff that a lot of people say, "Oh, that's wrong." If they'll turn around and do that in the right situation, how can anything be right or wrong? Like I don't. It's just there's stuff I won't do. There's stuff I know is wrong for me. There's stuff I know is right for me. That's all I got. And I kick it with the people who have similar moral compass and viewpoint as me. But I can't look at anybody else's actions and be like, "That's right or wrong." Now there's some stuff I'm like, "Don't bring that over here to me. Don't mess with me and mine. There's going to be a problem." But like you're free to go through this life believing whatever you want to believe is right or wrong. There's consequences for our actions. I think there's things that, if you do, it's gonna come back on you. But I can't never judge for anyone else right or wrong. Like that's for them. If I spend all my time judging you for what you do, that's way too serious for me. I just do me. Like what I mean? That's where I'm at. Jamonde, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad. So people that should have kids don't want to. Meanwhile, Nick Cannon got 12 kids by 7 women. You would be a dope father, bro. We got to find you a wife. Hey, Jamonde, I appreciate that. Super Chat Squad, I appreciate that love. Um, I would try if I ever had kids. I would try to be a good father. I'm sure I would fall short all over the place, but hopefully we never find out. And I appreciate the sentiments about finding a wife, but I don't want to get married either. So I'm good. I'm good. We blessed. Like you know what I mean? So a life partner. When my travel partner comes around, which we're manifesting, if she want to stay around for a while, we decide to kick it with each other for a while. Cool. We ain't got no kids, and we're not getting married. But yeah, I'm good without the wife thing. I'm good without the kids thing, man. Like I said, I would try to be a good father, but I'm sure I would fall short miserably. Jewel, I'm not currently working a seasonal job. No, no. But I haven't written off seasonal work completely. In fact, this summer, I hope to be doing a seasonal job this summer. So yeah, yeah. 84. I gave up on the American dream long time ago. And when I say the American dream, it was, and keep in mind, I grew up in the 80s because I got a lot of comments on that video. It was back in the 80s, the American dream was, big house, white picket fence, 2.5 kids, dog car, that whole scenario, marriage. Like, I gave up on that because, like, I don't want that. And that's not saying it was a bad thing for people who genuinely want that. I just don't want that. As I try to like get that in life, I kept like self-sabotaging or just wouldn't work because I'm like, oh, I don't want that. This is what I love to do, to just be, I love the freedom to be like, this summer I'm gonna go work a seasonal job. I can do it. I want to be in the mountains somewhere in friggin' employee housing, to be eating, meals provided by the company. I mean, just that type of life. Like that's the type of life as at 43, I still appreciate. It's just kind of like, now every now and then, like now, I like the ability to be like, hey, I'm gonna stay put in one place for a while, get some different stuff done, not have to deal with the anxiety of not having a place to live. Every now and then I like that too. But I like the freedom to be able to do either one. I don't just want to get pigeonholed into one existence. The American dream is very much so like from what it was taught to me. Because a lot of different people have different opinions on the American dream. So the American dream that it was given to me, I gave up on. But it's like if you're like a lot of immigrants chimed in, and they was like, my American dream was to come to America, be able to support my family. Now my kids can do whatever they want. Cool. Like I respect that. That was the American dream given to you when you were younger in another country. The dream of coming to America, having the freedoms we have. The American dream was given to me differently by society. I don't mean my parents. I mean like by society. So like, yeah, that American dream, I've given up on. If the American dream to you is to like, hey, have the freedom to do pretty much whatever you want, sort of, or more freedom than other countries have, yeah, I respect that. Respect that. Go for it. Eagles said they have the same dream here in Europe. Um, I think that American dream, I would say it leads more to feelings of like inadequacy because that dream makes anyone who doesn't achieve it feel like they're failing. Even if you got a decent life, if you feel like you're not achieving on that level, you haven't got the dream like it was sold to you, you kind of feel inadequate. But I think it also could lead to feelings of entitlement because you've been told your whole life this is how it should be. You expect it to happen. You know what I mean? But I think it's more so I'm more worried about the people who like don't achieve it, but still got a decent life, or they might, and still on some level feel something's wrong. Because that's why I had to give up on it. Because as much as I wasn't getting it, my life was cool. Even before I started doing what I'm doing now, my life was cool, but I always felt like I wasn't like where I needed to be. And I was like, oh, that's because I had this ideal in my head. If I give up on that, then it doesn't matter what I do. It's the Timothy Ward dream now. And that can be whatever you want. That could change tomorrow. Y'all know me. I'll change my mind tomorrow on what the Timothy Ward dream is. You know what I mean? Y'all skillful, yeah. I mean, and that should be it. Just to be financially, you said my American dream is to just be financially fit enough to be able to do whatever I want, whenever I want. Simple as that. And I wish like that was what we told our kids. Hey, now we live in society where like money's a thing. So in the framework of living life the way you want to, just realize you're gonna have to find a way to bring in enough coins to do that. Work is there just to support you and your life. That should be the message. If I ever have kids, that's what I'm telling them. Work is there just for you to bring in enough coinage for you to live the life you want to live. However, the average person, the average young person is told work is life. Do everything you got to do to get a good job. And then if you stay at that job long enough, you might be able, when you turn 65, to live life. And you wonder why these kids stressed. I'm 15. You telling me I gotta wait till 65? Come on, like no. It's like, bro, like live your life. Just make enough money to do that, and that is status. If you have to throw status in the mix, which I don't think you should, but it's like that is status when people can look at you like, oh snap, Bob's over there living his dream. Nice. You know what I mean? That should be like, yeah, yeah. When did I choose myself over the dream? Mid 30s. I think mid 30s, around about the time I started doing seasonal work and traveling more. Just yeah, yeah. Just like, you know what, I'm not yeah, I just want you know what I mean? Like I said, my life was good. I just wasn't as happy as I could have been. And I really looking 5 years down the road, I was like, I'll probably be doing the same. Like it just wasn't, you know what I mean? It just wasn't what I wanted. I want to be doing something. I wanted to be checking some boxes that meant something to me. Not just like get a car, get an apartment. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to do some stuff. Like, you know what I mean? And the thought that really helped me to go forward with it was that like even if I fail in this endeavor, it'll be an adventure. It'll be something. Even if I have to come back and like I would have had to like move in with my ex-girlfriend for a while to get back on my feet. And even though, what I mean, she was cool, she wouldn't have like picked on me about it. She would have joked about it. She probably I told you not to go out there to Wyoming and do it. You know what I mean? Like she didn't tell me that. But even though I would have had to deal with everybody to be like, we told you so. Not her, but other people. It would have been an adventure. It would have been a story. I was like, I just want an adventure. Like, you know what I mean? I just want to do something. Like this over here just isn't me. Like, I want to do something that's me. Even if it blows up in my face, I can say I did something I want to do. That would have been worth it. And fortunately it didn't blow up in my face. So cool. Mark said, how do you live your dream in a world in a world, in a system that exploits human beings? I think by realizing that the system is set that way. That's step one because a lot of people don't realize that. So a lot of people keep following the system, think it's going to work for them, and it's not set up that way. It's just not. So like realizing, okay, this is not going to get me where I want to go. Just following the system. I think then the next step is like, okay, how can I get removed from the system, or how can I use the system to my benefit? Um, Actually, no, no. The second step is figuring out what you want to do. Figure out what your dream is. So, all right, system isn't set up to help me. It sold me a bill of goods to what my life should look like. I'm realizing this is wrong. What do I want my life to look like? And then it's like, okay, how do I figure out how to get that? Because it's possible. There's people who do it. It's possible. The deeper we are in the system, the harder it is to do. I'll admit it's not. It's a lot harder for some people than others. But like, yeah, realizing this is how the system is, then realizing, all right, what do I really want? And that takes time sometimes. Figure out what you want your life to look like. Like that takes some time. And then be like, all right, what moves can I make? How do I make every day be like, a day spent trying to make whatever moves I can to get to that. And then just keep that as the goal. Like, and the more I know, I found that like I had no clue, before I started living this life, I had no clue about all this stuff kind of I've been able to do, blessed to do. But once I decided, like, man, I want to travel, things popped up. And I figured, oh, I can do seasonal, blah, blah. So like as you get on the path, things start to appear. Like when you're over here, you never see because they keep it from you. And you're just not going to think about it. But as you get on the path and decide this is what I want to do, you start looking into it, a lot more ideas come around that will help you get away from the system, break free from the matrix, leave the rat race. But when you're stuck in it, like you just don't see that stuff. So Jamonde, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad. Jamonde coming through again. Says Super Chat Squad in the building. Do we think we get our sense of right and wrong from God, society, or both? Why not? Do you feel the American dream had you in mind as a black man? The God part, I'll have to answer. There's religion and then there's God. Okay. Um, I think innately when you're born, you have some ideal of like, you know what I mean? Like a kid, there's certain things a kid won't do. Left to their own devices, there's certain things a kid won't do. Just because I think we're innately built with certain things that just don't feel right to us. I think that comes from the divine. Then I think religion comes into play. And a lot of us get our ideas of right and wrong from organized religion. That falls in line with the stuff that I'm like, I can't judge nobody. I mean, that's you for whatever you believe on that. But I think a lot of us, and sometimes it's just the prevailing religious beliefs in the country we live in, even if we ain't part of that religion. If you grew up in a Christian country, you're gonna have some Christian beliefs of right and wrong that you may not never even been to church. Same if you grew up in a Muslim country or another, you know what I mean? Like you're just gonna have some of that. A Hindu country, whatever. You're gonna have some of that. So I think that happens a lot. And that ties in with like society. And we definitely get a lot of our ideas of right and wrong from the people around us. I know this from just different parts of going to different parts of the country. There's some things in certain parts of the country that's whatever. You grew up in a certain area, whatever. I give you an example. Here's a very like simple one. Littering. I know people rob you for their litter. Like, you know what I mean? We all know that dude, crazy thugged out dude. He ain't gonna litter. Nah, bro, throw that in the trash can. You know what I mean? You go certain places, people from bigger cities, things like that, they litter. Some people, littering is just more commonplace. You just throw stuff, whatever, blah. Other people, other places, I've never littered. They just, nah, that's wrong, bro. Like, throw that away. You know what I mean? Like little stuff like that. Who can say whether it's right or wrong? I personally don't litter, but whatever. Um, so society plays a big part in like our beliefs, and that's why I think it's important to figure out for yourself, like, what do I really think is right or wrong? There are some things I grew up believing was wrong. Now I look back, I'm like, you know what? I don't think that's wrong anymore. You know what I mean? So yeah. Do you feel the American dream had you in mind as a black man? Um, when they first came up with the American dream, no. I think we all can agree that when America was first founded, the only people that they had in mind was white dudes because that's who founded the country. So yeah, there's a lot of things that just didn't have me or any other minorities in mind as this country was being founded. I mean, that's just fact. I mean, you just look at the names of who signed the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, all white dudes. They didn't even want their wives. They didn't even have their wives in mind when they founded this thing. But I mean, that was 200 some years ago. So yeah, obviously they didn't, and that's not something that I view as like a negative. It just was what it was. If black dudes had founded this country, we wouldn't have had nobody else in mind. If Chinese women had founded this country, they wouldn't have had nobody else in mind. You know, those, you know what I mean? It was the days like that. You know what I mean? So like it was what it was. You know? Yeah, it snowed today, Keith. Yeah, yeah. Oh, you gotta block somebody. Boom. We're getting these comments. I got the bot. I got it. I got it. No, I'm not even gonna see. I was about to be argumentative. I'm trying to learn to be less argumentative. It doesn't matter. Um, hey, little Florida, I'm glad we might meet one day. We might meet one day. Hey, Monday, you're right. Enjoy Black Panther too. I need to go see that. And I think what's that? That's a Thoreau quote. Many people live lives of quiet desperation. You know what I mean? And it's true. Like people just be and like I when I read that quote, I get sad. You know what I mean? Like when I read that quote, it's a call to action. It's like get out there and wake some people up. You know what I mean? That's sad to me. You know, there's a lot of tragedies that happen in this world, but like I think the biggest tragedy is just yeah, billions of people living lives of quiet desperation when you've been given this amazing opportunity. Billions of people living lives they really don't want to live because other people have told them to. That's what gets me. Like that's oh, I'm like, bruh, like that. Whenever I read that quote, I'm like, oh, like, bro, like, what can we say? What can I do? It's not serious. Have fun with it. Do what you want to do. We know how this movie ends. You won't be here in 100 years. So nothing you do now really matters like that. So like, do what you want to do. It doesn't matter unless it matters to you. Wake up. Just want to wake people up. Do I dislike thugging people? No, I got some friends that is pretty thuggish. No, I mean, I appreciate when my friends that are thuggish kind of, stop some of the behaviors they do. But I also understand that if you come from a thug-like environment, you going sometimes you gotta be thuggish. You know what I mean? So like I don't judge people. I don't judge people. I like when people can if their thuggish nature comes from the environment, I like when they can get out of that environment and maybe allow the who they really are to come out. I've seen that happen a lot. Where people certain way you put them in a different environment, and while they still got that in them, you ain't gonna play with the kid. They turn into like different people when you take them out of that environment. So that's why I'm always talking about changing your environment, doing different things because I know we all could become different people or other aspects of us come out in different environments, be that good or bad. You know, you put a good person in a bad environment, that other stuff got to come out. You know what I mean? The hyenas is out. I gotta be a wolf. You know what I mean? So like I like, you know, sometimes instead of just looking at people and judging them and like I don't like that person, whatever. Like why is that person the way they are? Could that person change put in a different environment or around different people? Who is that person really? You know what I mean? Do whatever you like. I'm with you, free man. Praveen checking in. I see you. Yeah, man. We had to throw the tie on today just to be. I haven't worn this shirt in a while. Like this shirt. I've had this shirt a while. It's getting It's getting old. Whenever I wear this shirt hiking, I get lots of comments. People like, great shirt, great shirt. Javier, I'm not sure if you told Glacier Yellowstone that you can only work for a month, they would hire you. They might. Um, I wouldn't feel bad about getting hired and then working a month and then saying you had to leave, though. That's just me. That's just me. Or once you got there, telling them like, I can only be here a month. I got something going on. But if you tell them in the beginning, they may not hire you. They might, but they may not. Praveen, you think of moving out of your parents' house? Hey, if that's what you got to do to protect your sanity, man, always protect your peace. Always protect your sanity, man. If that's what you got to do it, brother. Two seconds, folks. I will be right back. Got to take a little break. We back. Water break. Yeah, that'd be crazy if somebody else came and sat in the chair one day. That would be crazy. That'd be crazy. Keith, he said, happiness comes from establishing strong connections in the process of improving by struggling towards something. Ha! That's whew, that's a very deep definition for happiness. Do you, brother? Do you? Yeah, that seems like a very serious definition for happiness. I'm like, dude, that sounds like work. Hey, I respect it. I respect it. That sounds like work. Oh man. Oh man. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like happiness happens. You know what I mean? Things make me happy. I don't know, but yeah. Someone commented yesterday and was like, "Can you do a video like answering the question, what is love?" And that's another one of those. I'm like, I feel like you know it when it happens, like you know. And I thought about it. I'm like, say I made a video. This is what I think love is. The only people who would know if I was telling the truth are people who've already been in love, and they already know. And the only way for someone who hasn't been in love to know if I was telling the truth would be for them to fall in love. And then they would know it anyway. So it's kind of a pointless video. Hmm? The only way to know if I'm telling the truth is if you've been in love or you fall in love. And once you fall in love, you know. So what would be the point of the video? Because explaining what I think love is isn't going to help anybody find love. Not to mention, what is love? I feel like it's a feeling. Like, how do you explain a feeling? I think we ask a lot of questions sometimes. Just this goes back to like words play a huge part in our life, sometimes to our detriment. Because we'll spend so much time trying to put into words what something is instead of actually going after it. Like, I don't need to know what love is in order to like know love. You know what I mean? I don't need to have a clear cut definition of what love is to fall in love or to experience love or to be loved. Someone loves me. I'm not like, wait a second, tell me what you're doing. Explain to me what you're doing. Nah, if someone sends love, I accept it. I send it back. It's like it's don't. There's no necessity to define it. It's kind of like, what's the purpose of life? There's no necessity to define that. You just live. If a purpose pops up, you roll with it. If a passion pops up, you roll with it. Like there's no one can explain to you the purpose of life. Because if you're meant to have a purpose to your life, you will find it, hopefully. Someone else talking about it ain't gonna, that's just them. Like, I think there's just a lot of stuff we spend time trying to define. And it's like, just do it. Just just experience it. And I agree, Maria. Yeah, there's different types of love. There's types of love I will never experience in this life, like the love between a child and a parent. I will hopefully never experience that. I'm fine with that. Cool. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's just like we sit around trying to explain feelings. Like, nah, it's like you happy, you happy. Did a video about happiness, and people, I was like, I phrased it like I spend my life chasing happiness. So many people came at me and was like, you shouldn't chase happiness. I'm like, tomato, tomato. You know what I mean? Like, wait, stop. You know what I'm saying? I like being happy. So I spend my life doing things that make me happy. We don't need to have the correct phraseology. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, we get so worked. We try to be so intelligent, myself included. We try to be so intelligent sometimes, and it's not, bro. Like, love is love, happiness is happiness. Let's go. Whatever it means to you, like, yeah. And I definitely respect your definition, Keith. That wasn't a shot, but like, we just be with life. What's the purpose? What's the bro? Just live. You can have no concept of what the purpose in life is, but if you go down to the Taco Bell and get a number three, that's your favorite meal. Go down to the Taco Bell. Get that. Yeah, like, you like hanging out with so and so. You like doing this. You like to just do that stuff. And if some overall purpose pops up, cool. But it's like, we don't need to sit around trying to explain. Like, you can't explain life. You can't. You're not going to figure. Like, we're always learning more. You can't figure life out. We're trying to figure life out. Get it right. It goes back to like this whole. It's not serious. You don't need to figure it out. You just do it. You just do it. You don't need to like have it all figured. You never can. I intend to be on my deathbed like, man, never thought about that before. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? This is an analogy I think everybody can get. Pretty sure pretty much everybody in the chat can get this one. Like, when you was young, before you'd ever, experience, sexual love. You know what I mean? Like, when the time came to do it, you wouldn't like, stop, let me figure out, let's get a book, let's watch a movie, let's call up our sex ed teacher. Nah, let's get to it. We'll figure this thing out as we go. Nah, wasn't nobody like, wait a second, I need to Google with the thingy and how to. Nah, you just got to it. You know what I mean? We'll figure this thing out as we go along. Some of us still trying to figure it out, 100%. I feel like life is the same way. You just do it. You just roll with it. You'll figure it out as it goes along. You'll make some mistakes. You'll put things where they're not supposed to go. Okay, too much. But like, you know what I mean? Or, but like, you always have to have stuff figured out. You can't figure life out. You just do it. The opportunity presents itself to live. You live. Some stuff you're like, oh, probably not gonna do that no more. Some stuff you're like, hey, you gotta keep doing that. You know what I mean? Like, we take it too serious, man. Like, there's no penalty for not achieving in life other than that you don't achieve. There's no penalty for not achieving something in life other than that you just don't achieve it. Just didn't get to do it this time. But we sit around thinking like, oh man, if I don't do this, then people are gonna look down on me. It was a wasted life. Like, no, you just didn't do some of the things you might could have done. Is that a bad thing? You might regret, you know what I mean? But that's solely you. Like, only I can decide when my time comes whether I live my life to the fullest or not. It don't got nothing to do with nobody else. I can be like, yeah, I didn't achieve all the things I could have, but I spent a lot of days roaming around the woods of Montana enjoying myself. So, and I'm cool. You know what I mean? Like, it's not so serious. Cheryl, I think depression is different for so many different people. I think for some people it is. I think some people do get depressed under the weight of I'm not, society has said this is the life I should be living, and I'm not doing that. And they get depressed. They look on social media every day, and everybody else seems like they achieving and got all this going on. I don't get so there is that form of depression. So I do think it can come from being afraid to live the life you want to live because you think you need to live this life over here, but you're not going to be able to live that life over there because you'll never be able to 100% commit to that because it's not what you want to do. You might consciously be like, "That's what I want to do," but your subconscious is like, "No, it's not. We're not doing that." So I think you can have some depression from that. There's lots of other types of depression I think that aren't from that, but I think some depression can come from just because then that's that battle. Part of you is like, "We want to do this," the other part's like, "We got to do this," and then it's just that constant tug of war internally is like, "Oh, it's depressing." Yeah, yeah. Ladies first. You've been hearing the phrase "fight or flight" a lot lately. In regards to what? Retired 2019. Good to see you, sir. So now that I'm retired, I find people my age that are on the hamster wheel very boring. It's I was talking to a friend of mine about that yesterday, and I was saying, even like at my age, because we're talking about dating and stuff like that, I'm like, I have to find a woman just into the stuff I'm into, or the conversations. But like, you mean the average 43-year-old woman living that life with respect to it just it bores the crap out of it. I just can't. I'm like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Which when I tell my story, she's looking at me like, what's wrong with this dude? He's supposed to be grown. So I get it. But like, yeah, when you do some different stuff, like it's hard sometimes to relate to people living differently because you just like, I can't. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, I don't that ain't my world. So yeah, I get that at my age. Like I just can't. I'm like, that's why we hang out with young people because like a lot of them is doing stuff. They got no responsibility, just like I don't. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, I start getting into middle age. I'm just like, oh, your kids, your son had a baby. Oh, okay. hmm Respect. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Keith said, "There's another cynical side of me that knows the system is broken and the end of the world is nigh. So screw it and buy land in Alaska. Go for it. You know what I mean? I totally agree the system is broken. I just don't think the end of the world is nigh. They've been saying the end of the world was nigh forever. I always take it back to World War One. The world had been a certain way for a long time. World War One came along. I promise you, everybody thought the world was ending. I promise you. Tanks, machine guns, more people dying in a day than had died ever. You know what I mean? The Psalm. I guarantee they thought the world, all the Bible people was out there like, we told you all to read Revelations, all the stuff in Revelation. If you put it towards World War One, 1914 through 1918, the bubonic plague, come on, everything in the book of Revelation. If you applied it to World War One, you would think the world was over. This is Armageddon. It's got to be. Flamethrowers were invented. Like, come on. Everybody thought the world was over. This got to be it. That was 100 years ago. That was 100 some years ago. World's still here. The stuff we're going through 100 years from now, they'll be saying, "Oh, that's it. The world's over." Every generation, whenever something crazy happens, thought the world is over. It takes a lot for the world to be over. The system is always broken. By the way, these days, like the system is always broken. It's what we do. Cheryl, no, I never get overwhelmed by the questions. Yeah, if I do, I just skip it. Pretend I didn't see it. No, I'm good. I see you, Isabella. I see you. I see you. Hey, love you, Johnny G. Hope you feel better. Hope you get to feeling better. Hey, Agent Orange, photography 216, Cleveland. That is a long. I thought that was the question. That just glad you liked the spiritual minimalism video. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, that was the Great Sand Dunes National Park in Colorado. That's a pretty cool place. Pretty cool place. Only like 3 hours, 3.5 hours from Denver. Surprised more people don't go there. But yeah, pretty cool place. Glad you liked the video. James, I see you. Ladies first, you got 5 grandkids, 2 on the way. Oh, okay, okay. I putting in torque over there. I see you. Everything's cold and gray in upstate New York. Man, that time of year. Oh, Keith, you think the world ended several times? Okay, okay. Hey, respect, respect. Oh, Agent Orange, your family recently bought a 24-foot RV. Nice. Hoping to get out of Ohio. Yeah, man, come up this way. There's a lot of within a 3 mile radius of Denver is so many 3 hours, excuse me. And a lot of the stuff is like hour and a half away. There's so many awesome places to visit. Like I was surprised. There's I got a list of places I didn't make it to this summer. But there's so many awesome places around here. Like that's one reason I like being here. I'm glad I was here for this year that I'm going to be here because there's so many cool places. Just hop in the car, an hour later, you're there, hang out, come back home in time for lunch. You know what I mean? Yeah. So James, I don't know what Sonic Frontiers is. I don't know. Kiara checking in. Follow Keys Tracks. What up? What up? What up? How you doing? Kresnik, I haven't really thought about living in Colorado Springs. No. No. I thought about living in Loveland, maybe, but not Colorado Springs. I've only been through there a couple times. I would definitely take a travel partner who's a sugar mama. Totally. Why not? Actually, I don't know. I mean, yeah, why not? I don't. Why limit yourself, Tim? Why limit yourself? Yeah. I'm just manifesting an amazing travel partner, and I'm super excited because I know she's coming. If she got money, cool. If she don't got money, that's fine. We can be broke together. We can be broke together. Am I ready for Thanksgiving food? Yeah, I'm not really going anywhere for Thanksgiving, so no. Oh, it's a new video game. Okay. Yeah, me and her can be broke together. Y'all know me. I'm always say I'm broke. If there's billionaires out there, I'm gonna say I'm broke. Like once again, deconstructing the ego. I'm always say I'm broke. There's billionaires in the world. You know what's crazy, Cheryl? I low key like a bossy woman, but not bossy, but like what's the word I'm looking for? I had it on the tip of my tongue. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't. Any word I can think of sounds bad. I like a take charge woman. I'll say that. because I ain't got time for it. It ain't that deep with me. So like, I like a woman's like, oh, we're gonna go do this weekend. Okay, it don't. You know what I mean? Like, it saves me having to figure it out. I like a woman's like, you know what? I really want to go to Olive Garden to eat. Cool, let's go to Olive Garden. I don't care. You can ask my friends now. Just my friends I go out to lunch with. I'm like, where you want to go eat? Like, I don't. You pick, please. Like, I like a take charge woman who like figures stuff out. Does it? My ex girlfriend always take charge. We're going to St. Augustine on this day. We're staying in this hotel. She would even dictate where we was at the beach. We're going to be on that end of the beach. But I don't. I do not care. I'm like, all right, I know she drove. I don't care. I don't mind to take charge. Like, it don't bother me. It don't. It don't offend my manhood in the slightest bit. Because like if it's something that I'm like, hey, actually, we always do what you want to do. Let's go eat at Applebee's. She's like, all right. You know what I mean? So like, I like a woman like if I ain't trying to deal with it, she got it. And then if, on occasion when I'm like, yeah, I think I want to go here. She's like, okay, whatever. Like, you know, yeah, yeah. Retired 2019. When I say broke, I don't mean like really broke. I mean like comfortable, but not rich. Hey, Johnny T, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Chat Squad. Appreciate that love. Thank you, thank you. Says thanks for helping me through difficult times. Your life streams are the best. I really appreciate you, bro. Hey, 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 that is awesome. That's awesome. Glad we could be there for you, help you out. See when I wear black, you can't see the sweat stains. Super Chat Squad, that's awesome. Yeah, man. Hey, glad we can be there, help, man. We all go through tough times, and getting each other through them, I think, is one of the things life is about. If there is a purpose, stuff like that, I think it would be on the list. So that's awesome. And I appreciate that love. Thank you. Yeah, ladies first. I know you weren't saying you were pregnant. Yeah. Yeah, I got that. Yeah. Yeah. This is the kid, the churn. I'm telling you, I like a take charge woman. I'm telling you. Now, like we'd have to have like the same stuff going on in life. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, she'd obviously like have to like love travel, stuff like that. Like, so the stuff that she was trying to take charge of would be stuff I was gonna do anyway. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm telling you, I don't be yeah, it don't bother me. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, yes, yes. Glad to hear your default mode is staying sober. Yes, yes. Sorry, it took me a while to break that down. That's awesome, Jennifer. That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, man. When you get to that point where, sorry, you had bad news, but when you get to the point where you don't feel like you have to reach for the bottle to get through life, when you realize that like drinking does not help, it's the crutch you don't need. You know what I mean? Your leg ain't broke. You don't need the crutch. Like before, we think we're broken. Oh, I have to have alcohol. I can't. No, you know what I mean. So when you get to that point, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. Not the bad news, but the yeah stands over. Yes, Bev, I'm good. I'm good. How are you? But that's it. Once again, let me just clarify too. That's not to say I won't step up and take charge from time to time. But I just seem to like assertive women. I don't know. I don't know. Now, if she start tripping, I'm like, wait a second, that won't make no sense. I'm still yeah. But like, I be chilling, man. I be thinking about stuff. I don't always have time to be. The philosopher in me is very just like I'm trying to sit over here and figure stuff out. Like, Jennifer, yeah, the alcohol just makes problems worse, and I feel so honored to help inspire you with that. That's awesome. Warms the heart, but yeah, like it doesn't help. You know what I mean? Like that alcohol has never helped you with a problem in your life. Never. But we think it does. Part of that is the programming. You see on when you see on television and movies your whole life. Oh, I had a rough day. I need a drink. Oh, so and so happened. I need a drink. You believe it, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Ladies first. I am left to my own devices. I always do what I want. Right? I'm stubborn. Tim's gonna do what Tim's gonna do. It's just that if I'm in a relationship, it may be that what I want to do is what you want to do. You know what I mean? All right. I'm just pretty easygoing. Like I don't like I said. Now there'll be times I'm like, yeah, I'd rather do this. Okay, but like I like someone who's willing to step up and just is you know what I mean? It's just cool to have somebody who's. I just don't do well in a situation where I always have to figure the stuff out. Like I just be like, bro, like you know what I mean? Because I'm like, even if I'm not stepping up and making the decision, best believe I already got some stuff figured out in my head. You know what I mean? I'm always thinking about stuff. So even when I'm like, yeah, I don't be having to, like, I'm always, trust me, Tim done already figured something out. So it's cool to have somebody who's, hey, let's do this. Let's do this. Cool. Like, I don't, okay. Unless it just gets too far out of line of what then I'm like, hey, wait a second, blah, blah, blah. But, I just like, I like people in my life that are like on the ball, go, 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 figure this, figure that, like that, as opposed to like me having to be the one who's always figuring stuff out. Like, ugh. Because I do that. I think it's because I do that. You know what I mean? I do that 24/7. I'm always figuring everything out because it's just me. So I think it's cool when I'm in a relationship to have somebody else to take some of that, to do it. Like I say, to do it. I think the male female dynamic is changing, because I think the gender dynamic is changing. And I've said many times I'm all for that. But I get that if your views on a lot of things are, and not saying it's wrong, but like I think a lot of people's views, male, female, what men should do, what women should do, gender and all that is kind of the older method. It's weird now, but like I think it's just changing. Things change. I think it's changing, and I'm embracing it. Like gender's rapidly disappearing. Men starting to look like women, women starting to look like men. We got transgender. It's gender as we've known it in the '80s is changing. The kids now don't feel the need to pick a gender. I'm all for it. They, them. I love it. I just think we have to. Oh, you don't have to. But for me, I'm like, I'm just gonna roll with it. You know what I mean? Like it's you meet somebody, they act the way they act. Like I don't. If I meet a woman and like she acts a certain way and I'm cool with it, I'm not gonna be like, well, but she's a woman. And I'm not gonna. For me, I used to. I used to be like, oh, as a man, I need to be able to know. Like I'm Tim. I'm Tim. Tim acts the way Tim acts. If I meet someone, she's like a man should act differently. Well, then get someone else. Like a Tim man, don't. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, I love the fact that we're letting go a lot of this gender stuff. People growing up feeling they have to act a certain way. It's not that serious. Just do what you want to do. It doesn't matter what you are. Be whatever gender you want to be. Sleep with whatever gender you want to sleep with. Who cares? Like whatever. That's just my opinion. Like I just don't whatever, bro. If they make you happy, be with them. I don't care. I ain't got time. You know how much women's basketball is on television and on the streaming services? I got EuroLeague, I got NCAA. I can't. I gotta watch my Stanford games. I gotta watch my friggin' Iowa games. I gotta watch Drake. I like Drake now. The school, UConn. Then I got my European teams. You know how stressed my life. I don't have time for this stuff. You don't want to know my Europeans. I got too many. My European teams, they got weird names. I forget them. I can't even pronounce them. I'll be forgetting them. And then I'm like, oh man, I'm 2 games. Okay, moving on. I ain't got time. And by the way, yeah, if people if you still like gender roles, not judging, I just yeah, I'm yeah. Somebody will be like, wait a second, Tim. You talk about wanting gender to disappear, but then you said you only like women's basketball. Somebody will call me out. Somebody, somebody was about to type that. That's different. Um, I agree, Millie. People should feel free to break out society's mold. Do you? That's my goal. That's my mission in life. Do what makes you happy. As long as it ain't bothering nobody else, bro. Don't. We live our lives beating ourselves up over stuff that people told us was wrong when we was kids that don't even got nothing to do with us. It may be something you ain't even something you learned as a kid that you ain't even revisited in 20 years, but you still hate yourself because someone else told you it was wrong. You know what I mean? Screw that. Nah, if it's you do it. If it's what you do it. Care what nobody else thinks. If you think it's right, do it. Bro, them people ain't gonna be there on your deathbed. No one's ever died and be like, I'm so glad I listened to what they told me when I was 5 and lived a life of misery. Who's judging you? Whose opinion matters? Nobody. Now, if you think the source or God or somebody doesn't like something and therefore you don't want cool, but once again, that's you. That's you saying from my knowledge of reading the holy books or convening with the divine, I don't think this is right. But make it you. Don't make it somebody else read the book and then told you. Somebody else communed with the divine and told you, nah, I'm gonna do it myself. You're right, Gaia. Free thinking should be in everything. The system ain't rigged in your favor in any way. Society wants you to behave a certain way in every aspect of your life. You know what I mean? The powers that be want to control it all. They're not just limited over here. You might get up at the rat race, but you in some other race. You got to get up out all the races. Do you question everything? Even the need to question everything. But see, that's kind of a would the world be different if we had a few billion of any type person out there? Yeah, but like I can't point at anybody and be like, but I don't. You mean like that's being judgmental to pick out one. There's people who I definitely disagree with. I definitely don't believe all this stuff Kanye West has been spouting lately. Definitely disagree. But like, if that's what the world turned into, because people believe, you mean like I just don't judge. There's consequences for having beliefs like that and saying them publicly. There's consequences, and you got to pay those. And I definitely don't agree with the stuff he says, but like I never. People have the right to believe what they want to believe. I think that's why I don't get worked up so much about racism because people have the right to be racist. I don't care. It ain't got nothing to do with me. If I walk in a room and someone's like, "Ugh, a black person," it has nothing to do with me. like, I don't care. Now you come get into my face, there might be consequences for that action. But like, as long as you ain't bothering me, I don't care, bro. Like, do you? You have the right to believe that. My moral code does not allow me to hate somebody because of anything about them. But if yours does, okay, I don't care. Just keep that over there. Like I just don't. It's not serious. I don't care. You have the right. People don't like when I bring that up. People start leaving the chat. They can't handle that. I think we pay the price for our actions like in the now. You do some stuff, you reap what you sow. And since I believe in you reap what you sow, I don't need to dictate what happens to somebody else. You reap what you sow. There's consequences for your action, good and bad, right and wrong. I know my life is better when I live in line with my moral code. That's all I got. And when I hang around people with a similar moral code, our morality reinforces each other. My life is better, so that's why I do it. People got different moral codes. Okay, like there's nothing to do with me. Mhm. Hey Michelle, I feel you. I was the same. Every time I drank, was making mistakes, and they just kept getting worse and worse and worse. That's why I stopped. Just because you know, some people could drink and never do anything crazy. Some of us, every time we drink, something crazy happens. That's why I stopped. Like I just couldn't. I was tired of making the mistakes, man. Like, it's not fun. I'm not laughing at your pain. Trust me. I've been there. Like it just wasn't fun, bro. Like it took the fun out of drinking. I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing it then? It's not fun anymore. That's how you know it's addiction because anything else, if every time you did it, if every time you ate chocolate cake you got sick, you would just stop eating chocolate cake. After about the third time, you're like, bro, I can't do this no more. That's how you know it's addiction because we realize, and you be pre-thinking it. It'd be Friday night. I'd be like, man, I hope I don't do something stupid tonight. But I would still go out and drink and still do something stupid. I'd lay in bed all Saturday, like, man, I hate what, bro, stop. I'd stop. But that's how you know it's addiction because you're behaving in an illogical manner. The drinking ain't fun no more, or it's only fun for like 3 hours. And then you start acting stupid and you spend all day mad. Bro, yeah. Praveen, you never drink in your whole life? Hey, that's smart. That's smart. Ooh, Emily, yeah, you lucky. I wish drinking made me want to go to sleep. It would make me go to sleep, 5 hours later after I showed my ass, I pass out. Ugh. But you know, Bjorn, I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. Millie, sorry to hear about your friend. And yeah, I know how sad that can be to see someone developing a problem or have a friend or family member, a loved one have a problem because there's really nothing you can do. I've been on both sides. I've been the person with the problem, and there wasn't nothing people could do for me. And now I'm on the other side where I got friends struggling. It's like I don't know, man. It's very hard. It's very hard um, because you know, like I said, there was nothing anyone could do to help me. I always say just be there for the person. I always remember the people that were there for me, and being there for them doesn't mean preaching to them about their problem. Because, like I always say, when I was, in the midst of addiction, nothing you could tell me about like negative things that happened because of my drinking was new to me. Like I was living it. You might be seeing it, but I'm living it. So anytime someone would try to preach to me, I'm like, bro, like I know. I'm not, I'm not a drunk from lack of knowledge of what comes from being a drunk. I got firsthand knowledge. I'm going through it. That don't help. What helped was just people being there for me and being like, hey, Tim, I see you struggling. I'm here for you. I'm gonna be here for you as much as I can be. You start getting too crazy, I may have to exit stage right, but you know what I mean. As much as I can, I'm gonna be here for you. You ever want somebody to talk to? Blah blah blah. I'm here. I got you. I'm gonna love you no matter what. I may not kick it with you some days because you out drunk being crazy, but like I had some my buddy Roosevelt. He was very much like, I love you, I'm your boy. I ain't gonna be around that foolishness. I ain't gonna be around you when you're drinking, but the next day at work, I got you, you know. And I appreciate that, because it was like he never left. He would and never lectured me. He was just always like, bruh, you know what you gotta do. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. So it's really all you can do. But I know it's a hard situation. And I hope your friend pulls through. But I give up an apartment that's 2 grand a month. Oof, I wouldn't have it in the first place. Can't afford it. Good night, free man. Oh, that's who Blair was. Oh, I didn't know who that was. I have to look her up. Queen Butterfly, you're considering walking away from mostly everything in your life, saving money, wandering around the earth. Do it. Do it. Yeah, that's a lot to pay for rent. I don't blame you for wanting to be like, you know what, screw this. Hey, people do it every day. You know what I mean? I mean, and that's what I always say. Like, a lot of times it's not so much that people may not want to, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes people's like, all right, I wouldn't mind playing the game if the deck wasn't so stacked against me. You know what I mean? It's like, man, I don't mind, whatever, but like, bro, this is just too much. Like, screw it. You know what I mean? But I think that might be a good thing because it does push people. I think sometimes this is why I say when things get too extreme in society, if you just look at it on paper, it seems horrible. And there is a lot of pain and suffering that goes with it, but it usually turns out to be a good thing because eventually it reaches that breaking point. Like the wealth gap is just getting out of control now. There's going to be a breaking point. Something's going to happen. You know what I mean? So, like, when things really start getting crazy on a negative level, usually the byproduct of that is like people just stop. Like, people will take a certain level of oppression and everything, right? People will take a certain level. And if it stayed at that level, depression would stay. Once people get too oppressed, they revolt, and then that's when the situation gets fixed. I think we're seeing now with our system, like the economy and stuff, like it's just getting too out of whack. More and more people are like, screw it, they're just walking away. Like, I'm not doing it. I can't afford it. Which leads to people going out and doing stuff that, like you said, you might save up some money, just roam around the earth. You might have never done that. If you decide to do that, that's something you probably would have never done before. A lot of people, living in cars, RV life, other stuff, um, just different decisions people are making. Would have never done it if the system wasn't like it is, and they were just like, I can't win over here. I have to start my own business. I got to start a side hustle. My job is just too crazy. A lot of people working for themselves or doing other stuff would have never done it if the workplace wasn't so toxic and so crazy now. But that's a good thing because, like, they look back and be like, man, I'm so glad my boss was a royal a-hole and made me quit because this quitting was the best thing ever happened. So, like, as much as I'm against kind of like how society is set up these days, I'm kind of glad it is and that it's getting so extreme because it's waking more people up. More and more people just like, wait a second, this, bro, a couple years ago it was cool, but this is crazy. You know what I mean? So I think it's low key a good thing. Yeah, I'm with you, John. Go where you're treated best, where you can improve your quality of life, achieve your goals. And that's one of the things I've learned from travel is that there are places where you're treated better and that work better for you. That's why I'm always telling people, like, you don't have to be a nomad like me, but like go see some places because you might go somewhere and like really like it. And you're like, man, I like the vibe here. Nobody knows you there. You know what I mean? Like there's different, even just in the country, there's places where you'll thrive better than other places. But if you never visit nowhere, you won't know. Yeah, TK. I used to have blackouts too. The blackouts are scary, bro. Like I don't miss the blackouts at all. I take the hangovers over the blackouts. Yeah. Ladies first. Yeah, my skin does dry out. Honestly, I have a space heater. I had to stop using it because I was getting too dried out using it. Yeah, yeah. Certain types of heaters will dry my skin out. Yeah. Grapes are almost gone. Trying to figure out what I'm gonna eat for lunch, like lunch proper. I got some leftovers. Hydration break. Grapes are on sale at Aldi. We ain't got no Aldi here. I'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, nice guy. You ordered 12-hour walk? Yeah, I've been reading. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Kresnik, I don't know if you can convince someone to step out of their comfort zone. I found the best way I've ever been able to do it is to step out of my comfort zone and for them to see. Because like you can't. Yeah, it's like how could you what could you say? Um, but yeah, honestly, through my own experience, them seeing it, telling them about it, that's probably the only way that because if someone wants to stay in their comfort zone, like there's nothing you can say unless they're willing to do it. Like if someone's thinking about doing it, you might could give them that extra push. But if somebody's, you know, neck deep in comfort zone, you know, if you got a comfort zone Chris on your hands, it's gonna take them seeing something probably and being like, interesting. Country lanes, you're in your early 20s, feel like you've been here 3 times before. You might have been. You might have been. How to enhance libido later in life? No clue, Noah. I no clue. I've been saying my libido been dropping off. I don't know. I no clue. Maybe that's just what's supposed to happen. I'm sure there's somebody will sell you a supplement or a magic potion. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. You find out, let me know. You find out, let drop me a line. But I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it's just the way of things. Isabel, you're tripping, man. You tripping. Hey, Praveen, thank you. Super Chat Squad. Said I will definitely be leaving my comfort zone soon by leaving my parents' house and finding my own apartment due to all the drama and fighting. Hey, that's awesome. Appreciate that love, Super Chat Squad. That's awesome, Praveen. Yeah, man. Yeah, I think you'll like it. Like I know you'll like it. You know what I mean? You'll be away from whatever drama is going on there, but also just having your own place, being able to do whatever you want to do. It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. Yeah, a little scary in the beginning, but that goes away after about one day. You're just like, yes. Why didn't I do this sooner? Yeah, that's awesome. And thank you, Super Chat Squad. Appreciate that love, Praveen. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. I'll be praying that you find a nice place. I'm sure you will. Yeah, ladies first, it's cold out there. Blessed to have heat. Retired 2019 said to get physically fit, that helps the libido. You probably right. You probably right. I'd be sitting around the house too much. I don't know. I think I just used up too much a lot of my libido when I was just too when I was younger. I think I just used it up. Now I'm just like, That's a good point, Johnny. Your family might go closer together when you move away. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, not stressing about having libido probably helps libido. Yeah, stressing about it probably makes it worse. You know, just like being worried about ED brings on ED. Yeah. In general, in life, stressing never helps anything. There's nothing in life like if you stress about it, it actually will help it. It'll make it go away if you worry. Like there's nothing. Like nothing. Yeah, or you can just accept. Which I guess like if you're in a relationship, maybe it's a big deal. But like yeah, when you're single, it's like yeah, libido's gone. Okay. It's like what? Okay, got to worry about that no more. Until that one time you really kind of want to do something. You're like, oh, I got to figure out how to get this thing to work. Okay, moving on. Oh, that question really sparked the chat. I see you, Noah. Got everybody going. Got the chat worked up. Johnny said, Tim, I really love that Life is Just a Game live stream. I've listened to it multiple times and it hits the nail on the head. Life ain't all that serious. You're so right. Hey, glad you liked that one. Glad you liked it. Yeah, and this kind of the same topic for this one, like it's not serious. It's a game. Enjoy it the best you can. Like I'm telling you, once you really get that mindset, like it's not a lot of your anxiety and stuff. You just kind of go like you just enjoy life. Ladies first. Thank you. Super chat squad. So Tim, you have to figure out what's for lunch/dinner. Super chat squad. Appreciate that love. I really do. Uh, yeah, lunch I might do leftovers. I think I might give me a steak for dinner. I think I might give me y'all talking about manless stuff. Like, gotta give me a steak. But yeah, I had a steak in a while. I try not to eat too much of it. Got some generous donations. I might get a steak tonight. They got them on what's today? Thursday. They might have some on sale steak somewhere. Retired 2019. You're crazy. Thank you, ladies first. Retired 2019. You crazy. You're crazy. Man should wake up. Hey, you know. Some days that's annoying. Man, I'm just trying to get up and go to work. Uh, Was that you said, Isabellum? Sex is only like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. There's 24 hours in a day. It's not as important as we make. Uh yeah, if you take the zeros off the end of 30 and 40, you might you I could agree with you. If you take, if you take if you take 30, if you take the zero off the end of 30, 40, and you say sex is like 3 or 4 minutes, now with foreplay, yeah, 30 minutes. Okay, moving on. Tim, you gotta stop downing yourself in these live streams. I'm just being honest. I'm 43 now. I don't know why 43 seems so much older than 42. Where do nomads sleep in the winter? Indoors. Yeah, 43. Yeah, I'll admit 43 is young. I got another 43 years to do this. You know what I mean? But it's definitely middle age. It's definitely middle age. You know me, Linda, too. I've always been honest. Like I never like because it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like I don't mind being honest because it does not matter. If someone was like, "Man, I was gonna have sex with Tim, but he said it's only gonna be 3 minutes, so I'm not gonna have sex with him." Okay, we just want to have sex. Like I don't care. I will be okay. I just explained to y'all. I got basketball to watch. I'm behind in my basketball. I really don't care. You know, you know, you know what I mean? Like, if some nice sloppy sex comes along, cool. But if it doesn't, I'm cool too. I try. You know what I mean? I'm this way with a relationship. Relationship come along, cool. My travel buddy is coming, so I know it is. But like, I'm good either way, bro. Like it don't. And this way, she knows. I heard Tim on the internet saying sex is only going to last 4 minutes. I gave him a piece. It lasted 4.5 minutes. Good job, Tim. Like, I just be real. I just, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care. I don't care what people think about me. I'm fine in more than one way. You know, I just, you know what I mean? I'm good, bro. Like, I don't know. I didn't used to be this person. We've changed. No, I think 43 is middle age for me. Like if I make it to my 80s, I'd be happy. I'd be happy to make it to my mid 60s. I don't really, it ain't a thing. They could take me tomorrow. I'm chilling. You know what I mean? Like I'm not really. So if this is middle age, I'm fine with that. Like I don't living longer isn't always better. Living is amazing. However long it lasts is great. Living longer isn't always better. You know, 30 minutes retired 2019? Nah, bro. Nah, we not. Nah. I don't. Maybe if I was drunk, like drunk, yeah, it's in the zone. I mean, I can pull off one of them 30-minute ones every now and then. If I'm really, if I got a point to prove, but nah, no, 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 we not. Who has the energy? What am I trying to prove? I'm just weird. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, the foreplay, that's a different thing. We take our time with that. That's cool. But the actual, okay. What are the other towel videos, ladies first? I don't remember offhand. I have between the privated and the published videos, I probably got 900 videos on the channel. So like literally, so I don't remember exactly. Um, I don't remember exactly. Yeah, but there's some other towel dance videos. Yeah. Oh, and in the beginning of my 2021 recap, I think there's a nice towel scene briefly. Steak and shrimp. Okay. TK said 20 minutes is enough. That's it. Hurry up. Let's go. Hey, Black Nubia, how you? Nubia Gold, excuse me. How you doing? I was reading two different things. Nubia Gold, how you doing? I haven't seen a Ruby Tuesdays here. I don't think. Yeah, I haven't seen a Ruby Tuesday here. There might be. I just haven't seen one, but I don't think I've seen one. Have you ever had a creepy moment as a nomad, where you were being stalked or watched? I mean, there's been times where you like when I was down in New Orleans, dudes was definitely, the wolves was out. You know what I mean? But I just moved the way I had to move, so I didn't become total food. I knew one slip up, I'd have been food. So certain places you go, yeah, people, but I've never been like stalked for like me. But there's been, I've been places where, yeah, you could tell one wrong move, wrong down the wrong alley, it probably you would have left without your valuables. But I don't think I've ever really been like, someone really intently like stalking me. I've been watched, but I don't think it was ever really been like stalking me. No, not that I know of. You know, and it's not something I really, you know what I mean. If you can navigate around your home city, you can navigate pretty much anywhere. You know what I mean? It's the same, you know, street smarts and just the same watching your back as anywhere. And like I always say, you're more likely to get stalked and watched at home or in your hometown than on the road. Because on the road, you just appear out of nowhere. In your home city, like people see you every day. So, like, yeah, it seems like it would be more like you're more vulnerable traveling, but honestly, it's kind of the opposite because, like, nobody knows you. You just appear out of nowhere. If you're traveling and someone like wants to stalk you or something, they got to get prepared because you just show up. And by the time they get prepared, oh, who's that? You might be gone. You know what I mean? So like, and that's the beauty of that too. Like if you do get in a situation like that, you just leave. You know, and I would recommend if you're planning on living a nomad life, watch as few videos as possible about the bad stuff that happens. People make those videos. Sometimes they make them to just try to inform you, like, hey, this might happen, be careful. A lot of people make those videos because people watch them. I don't watch none of the negative nomad stuff. Like any negative stuff with travel video, I don't watch them. Like I rarely will, because I'm just like, nah, like if I know how to move in Denver, I know how to move anywhere I go. You know what I mean? Like I know how to watch my back, keep myself safe. I'm gonna have to use those same skills anywhere I go. You just get a natural sense of like this seems a little weird. You know what I mean? So like I don't really need to, you about to go somewhere and they have all these videos, 10 things you need to look out for in Mexico. I don't watch that stuff. Nah, it's the same game. Because you get started watching that type of stuff, you'll never travel because you'll just be no, you'll be petrified. Yeah, just watch your back, watch your surroundings. And I'm a big believer too that like anybody can get got. You know what I mean? I learned that living in Atlanta years ago. Anybody can get touched. Anybody can get got. So all I can do is like watch my back the best I can and just hope it don't happen. I mean, if they coming for me, they coming for me on the road, at home, whatever. So like anybody can get touched. I've accepted that. So like if it happens when I'm traveling, or if it happens at home, like I hope it doesn't. I don't want it. I ain't inviting it, but like I just know the worrying doesn't. Not to mention too, people pick up on like worry. So if I'm somewhere and I'm that's when the wolves come out. They smell blood in the water. Who that? You know what I mean? But if I'm just like walking and I'm confident and I'm not worried about it and I'm not paying them no attention, people are like, all right, whatever. You know what I mean? That's a good point too. Yeah, guy, in our regular routine, we get comfortable. But like, yeah, when you're on the road, you're constantly like, all right, this is new. You're peeping. You know what I mean? Not that you're looking scared, but like you just pay more attention. You know, that's a good point. Hey, Lee, love you too, brother. Good, have a good flight. Yeah, I kept telling you to go back to Big Sky. I'm glad you finally listened to me. Love you too, Lee. Thinking aloud said, Tim, what do you think of all these prepping channels talking about future food shortages? Do you ever worry? Not really. You know, I said before, if I get a couple extra dollars, I might buy one of them, 30 days worth of food in one buckets for a couple $100 just to keep in the closet. But like, I mean, if we really get major food shortages like that, the food shortages is probably going to be like the least of your worry. If we get major food shortages to where there ain't no food and only the people who've been keeping, 10 years worth of tuna in their basement are surviving, the food shortage is going to be the worst of your problem. You might not want to have food. If we run out of food, you ain't going to want to be the people with a ton of food. So, like, I just don't, I mean, if I start seeing it really looking like food shortages, I might stock up on some stuff. But right now, I'm not worried. Like, not to mention, you know what I mean? Like, when you accept life as like something's gonna get me one day, I don't want it to be starvation, but like I'll be down there at the soup kitchen with the rest of y'all. And everybody will be on YouTube looking at all them prepping channels trying to figure out where them people at. Yeah, where'd she say she lived? Michigan. You know, I don't know. But no, I don't get worried. I don't get worried. It helps that there's plenty of food at the store down the road for me. So damn, no, you got robbed in Spain. Sorry to hear that. The worst hood I'd say I've been to, probably one of the ones in Atlanta. Yeah, probably one in Atlanta. We used to be in some hoods. Not a lot, but you go do somebody a favor, drop somebody off, go to scoop up a young lady, you end up in some hoods. So probably one in Atlanta. Trying to think of the worst one. Yeah, probably one in Atlanta. Cheryl, you thought a gallon of water and a pack of Slim Jims are gonna get you through Y2K? Well, you was right. You was right. You got through it. Yeah, I'm gonna be down at the soup kitchen, chilling. I'll probably meet somebody down there. When we run out of food, I'll be down at the soup kitchen every day. I'll probably get so many more friends. I'll probably start dating again. Just you gonna eat that bread, or be like, hey, I got 2 pieces of bread. I don't know. DK, yeah, I used to live in East Atlanta. East Side, Decatur. We was, yeah, man, it was, different life, different life. I never been to Detroit, so I ain't never been no hoods in Detroit. No, I ain't never been to Detroit. I've been to A though. We had some scares. We didn't have some, you know, some potential gunplay. You know what I mean? Like it was a different. But back then, I thought it was normal. You know what I mean? Like it was scary, but like that was normal. That was life. You'd be in the wrong hood, bad stuff happened to you. People like I would tell somebody a story, and they'd be like, "Bro, you shouldn't have been on the west side." I'm like, "I know." Like that, like that was, or dudes like, you should have came, you should have called me. I'd have rolled with you. Like, there was never like, man, this is crazy. It was like that's life. Like you shouldn't have been over there. We don't go to College Park. That ain't our side of town. You don't go there solo with just some chick, bro. You crazy? Yeah, you right, dog. That was my bad. They called me slipping. Johnny, you been to Watts in L.A.? Oh, yeah. There's hoods all over. That's one thing I learned. There's hoods all over. Not to mention, y'all be. I've probably been to some trailer parks that was worse or just as bad as some hoods. You know what I mean? Y'all, the hood is rough, but y'all can't. No one ever talks about the trailer park. Y'all don't be giving the trailer park it's due. I've been to some trailer parks, have me shook. Let me get up out of here. Like I'm telling you, boy, man, in Florida, Georgia, wind up in the wrong trailer park. See what happened to you. See what happened. There been some trailer parks that I if that trailer park had fought certain hoods, it would have been a battle royale. Like them man, some of the trailer parks, man, them in the trailer parks, you get lost up in them. You know what I mean? The hood, you got streets, whatever. Man, so in the trailer parks, you go to the back, you turn this, man, you get lost in trailer parks. Nobody ever finds you. no, no, nobody ever finds you back in the trailer parks, boy. I've been to some place, man, get me out of here, bro. Would I ever have a one night stand today in life, Tony? I'm less likely to than in my past, but I'm not against it. Yeah, you know, I mean, the circumstances would have to be like on point now. Back in the day, I didn't care, but like now, it has to be. But yeah, I'm not against it. Not for me. You ain't gonna end up in a bad trailer park. I mean, you usually know before you turn in there. Just like the hood, like you usually can tell. Like your spidey sense will usually be like, "Don't go in there." That's why people usually end up in the wrong hood because they doing something either illegal or they like sex. Because like, I got no reason going up in here, but that girl told me she'd stay in the. I'm gonna go. You know what I mean? Or people just don't typically end up in the wrong neighborhood by accident. You can lot it. Sometimes you can't, but most times you can tell. Like I don't need to be here. I got no reason to be here. And yeah, my thing is, yeah, don't be afraid to do like Nick Blues, turn around, exit stays right. As soon as you realize, like, oh, that's what I say to people like, hey, when you travel, you're not afraid you'll end up in the wrong place. I just turn around, go back. If I'm driving or walking and the streets start getting hoodier and hoodier, I just turn around, go back. You should have seen me in New Orleans. I was making all kind of right turns, U-turn. Nah, not going on that street. Them dudes down there. Nope. Nope. They was laughing. One time they laughed at me. They saw me. I looked at them and said, nope. And I was like five dudes standing there started laughing at me. Look at him. Nah, y'all not getting me. I dipped and then like zigzagged a couple streets so they couldn't follow me. Y'all not getting me. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Tell you, people end up in the wrong place because it'd be something they going after. Spidey sense going crazy. But like, man, I gotta go do this. But okay. Yeah, it get hoodier and hoodier. I just turn around. Nope. We gonna Google Maps reroute. Alexa, find me a different alternate or whatever okay, Google, find me a different like rerouting you from the hood. Um Guy said I had a food delivery in a super sketchy trailer park the other day. I was kind of worried I was gonna get a flat tire there with so much broken stuff everywhere. Not trying to get stuck. Yeah, that's when you be praying like, please don't let me get stuck in here. I had to do glad you made it out, by the way. I had to do a when I was in Montana, I had to do an Instacart delivery, and it was further out than I normally go. But I think it was a good tip or something. But it ended up being in like, it wasn't a hood trailer park, but it was like, and I don't mean this political, but like it was like a Trump trailer park. You know what I mean? So like you can imagine me, Montana, black dude, go in this trailer park, and there's like American flags, Trump flags, don't tread on me flag, that type stuff. It was that vibe. And I was just like, and it was a little further out of Bozeman than I normally go, like in Bozeman, whatever. But like, I'm like, oh. So I was already a little like, oh, I'm going kind of into the sticks. And then I get to the place, and it's a trailer park. And then it's like that type of trailer park. I was like, oh, okay. And then I couldn't find the trailer. Could not find the trailer. Like the Google Maps took me, where the GPS took me, there was like nothing. So I'm like getting out. I like got out at the wrong place, and I'm like, this can't be it. Long story short, though, some of the nicest people. Um, One lady finally she saw me, kept like driving by, and she's like, "You okay?" And I'm trying to find blah blah blah. And she's like, "Oh, you got to blah blah blah." And like right about that time, the people messaged and were like, "Hey, we see you're driving around. Look for this car in the drive." So super nice people. I didn't have any problems, but it was uncomfortable for that 10 minutes I was driving around. Like, man, I just want to find this place and get out of here, bro. But super nice people. You know, sometimes it's not as bad as you think, but sometimes it's. Mhm. Hey, I'm with you, TK. Yeah, sometimes you got to take the long way home from the club. You get. Hmm. Frankie said, "Do you think spending time on watching sports like hockey, baseball, or football is good value? Do you watch sports?" I watch the WNBA, the NWSL, EuroLeague women's basketball, and NCAA women's basketball, and I think it's a good value if it brings you joy. You know, um, if you enjoy sports, do it. A lot of times people, "No, you shouldn't spend so much time watching sports or playing video games," but their alternatives aren't any better. If you're like, what should I be doing? Like working myself to death. Like there's not really an alternative someone can give you if it's something that brings you joy. You know what I mean? Like what else would I be doing? So yeah, I say if you like sports, watch it. As long as you handling your business and the bills is paid and the kids got pampers and you eating, what does it matter what you do for enjoyment? In my opinion. when you start when you start seeing mattresses and grills on the sidewalk, yeah, you in the hood. Uh, yeah, I'm big. When we were looking for this apartment, I'd go somewhere, and if I saw a lot of stuff out on the sidewalks and people walking around, nah, I'm like, nah. Mm-mm. If all the porches had a bunch of crap, nope, nope. Mm-mm. Yeah, Jaw Skillful, I'm with you. Yeah, your boy, like, man, I'm gonna roll over here. Come with me. Nah, I'm good. You got this. Any neighborhood that starts with Del or L is. Hey, go over here with me to Del Rio. Nah, I'm good, bro. No, no, I did not get the massage yet. I was actually looking the other day, and the place by my house is booked out till like the end of the year, and you couldn't book for next year yet, which is kind of a bummer. Quiet perfect storm. I'm sorry if you feel that anytime I mention black people is negative. I don't think I've ever heard anyone else say that. Um, Maybe part of that is because a lot of the experiences I've had with black people, I don't mention before I tell the story that they're black people. You know what I mean? So like I've had good experiences with people of all races, and you never really hear me mention race. So maybe that's and a lot of the things that I mentioned that you might have just assumed I was talking about black people, I might not have been. So, but yeah, I try to never mention race. So yeah, I've had tons of amazing experiences with all races. Like I just ain't gonna always mention the race. You know what I mean? People make assumptions of what race I'm talking about, but you'll notice I almost never mention race. All these stories I just told, I ain't say race. I talked about New Orleans, I ain't say race. I talked about the trailer park, I ain't say race. I ain't say no races. I don't think did I say race any of these stories? I say Atlanta, you might assume. I say hood, you might assume. I say trailer park, you might assume. But I literally was speaking about all different races, all them stories. So I personally feel that sometimes as black people are hypersensitive and like we need this, you gotta say black and you gotta say it positive. I talk about everybody the same. It don't if black folk is tripping, I'm gonna say it. If white folks is tripping, you know what I mean? Like I'm just gonna give the story. Like it don't you can fill in the races if you want. I just give the story. But to answer your question, I've had so many beautiful, amazing experiences with black people. It don't even need to be addressed. You know what I mean? I lived in Atlanta for 10 years. I got some really great stories from there. You know what I mean? Maybe I should tell more of those. Those are good times. Maybe it is me, but yeah, I have. Hey, Christopher, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super Cat Squad. Who can give you an alternative to doing what brings you joy? No one. This is brilliant, Tim. Thank you. Hey, I mean, I feel like and appreciate that love, Chris. Thank Christopher. Thank you. I feel like, you know, it's little simple truths. People like you shouldn't spend like I talk to like older people and they'll be like, yeah, these kids in these video games. And I'm like, what do you now I could get that they're like, okay, maybe we want them to be a little more physically active. Okay. But I'm like, you do realize kids play. You know what I mean? So if they were outside throwing a ball back and forth to each other, you're cool with that. But they're inside playing video games. It's still play. You know what I mean? Like I think sometimes we just judge people on what they do because it ain't what we do. But our alternative isn't much better. So if he was inside reading a book, he wouldn't care. But since he's inside playing video games, it's a problem. Maybe he learns. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. Hey, if it brings you joy, do it. Tim W. I am getting a humidifier. Actually, thanks for reminding me. You know, thank you all for backing me up. By the way, thank you, Nubia Gold. I try to be very race neutral. I don't see the point. Yeah, if you're the type of person who really needs race validation, this probably ain't gonna be the channel for you. Like I don't, like this is a good story and it's about a black person. That's not, bro. Like, come on, man. Like I just we be telling stories, man. Hey, see you later, Linda. Thank you, ladies first. Love you too. No, I could tell you stories in a bubbly bath with the lights dimmed. I wouldn't have a glass of wine though. Maybe a nice kombucha. I might be booched up. Might have a mug of that booch on me. But it might be time to do a if I go back up to when I go back up to Bozeman, I'm gonna rent that hotel room with a jacuzzi, do another jacuzzi video. Yeah, yeah, it's about that time. Thank you, Nubia Gold. Thank you. Everything applies to everybody. We don't need to, unless it's important to the story. Then I'll mention, race or something like that. You know, other than that, like all that's the problem. We get so see what I'm saying? Like we're so divisive. We're so divisive. I just don't be seeing it, bro. Like I just don't be seeing it. I just see people. I see life. Off grid. Super Chat Squad, thank you. It says the 8-hour work week is what Timothy needs. Nah, no, nah, Tim don't need much, Tim don't need much, you know what I mean? Urban Lady, I appreciate you saying that. So we know your heart. That means a lot. Thank you. Yeah, I know off grid. I know you're joking. Yeah, that's what people would say. You need to work more. Stop watching those women play basketball and work more. Stop doing those videos and work more. You just need to, like I said earlier in the stream, probably about 2 hours ago. I wish we told the kids, do whatever you want to do in life and work just enough to support it. Thank you so much, Off Grid, by the way. Do what you love in life. Spend your life doing what you love, what people you love, and work just enough to support that. If I was that kids, that's what I'm telling them. They'd be like, Dad, I asked you, could I borrow some money? Do what you love in life. Work just enough to support it. Dad, we asked you about going to the movies. Do what you love. Like that would be my advice to my kids. Lucas, we're not still celibate. No, we don't have much sex these days, but we're not like on a celibacy tour. Like when I did that year, I was like, I'm not having sex for a year. Yeah, Tracy, just live happy every day. Like I'm telling you, it's simple. All this stuff in life is simple, man. Like just live happy. Yeah, but I guarantee you say it to the average person. Just be happy. They be yeah, but you gotta. But what about like, bro? Like we can't even allow the simple truth to get in. Sounds good, but just try to be happy. Off grid. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ooh, Fight Club movie quote. Here we go. We work jobs we hate to buy crap we don't need to impress people we don't like. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Super Chat Squad. Appreciate that love. That's love. Thank you. I love goggles. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Oh man. That was exactly. Them grapes got something in them. Who spiked my grapes? I agree. I agree. Alan Watts said something similar the other day. Um, he said that like, how did he put it? It's like we go to work, like we work our whole lives at these jobs we hate that make our lives miserable, and we keep going to work every day to pay for the miserable life. He said it more eloquently. But basically, I was like, he's right. He's like, you know what I mean? We work these jobs we hate and it makes our lives miserable, but we keep going to work every single day to make the money to support a miserable life. He's like, what's the point? like, what's the point? Best case scenario, you get a nice paycheck to help support your life you don't like. It's crazy. But yeah, you know, but that's another part too. Buying stuff to impress people we don't like or people who aren't impressed. That's another part of it. They're not even impressed. I could see if people were actually genuinely impressed. They don't care. You go out and buy a 2023 Mercedes or whatever car's hot right now. Go out and get you that 2023 G Wagon. I don't know. People who are into that type of stuff might look and be like, oh, snap. Son got that G. Okay. I promise you, 6 months later, they're going to be talking crap. That's the 2023, man. The 2024 is out. Go out and get a brand new pair of, I was going to say Yeezys, but don't think they make those anymore. Go out and get you a brand new pair of whatever the hot shoe is. And thank you, somebody. Give it 2 months. Think about you still wearing them? Bro, like I said, the people who are impressed by stuff like that aren't impressed long if they're even impressed in the first place. You just spend all your little money. They don't care. They still gonna talk. People gonna talk crap about you are going to talk crap about you. Pull up in that new car. They gonna be talking about how you can't afford it. Oh, he in that new car. He ain't even paid his child support. I heard. It's not. You ain't impressing nobody who. Only people really impressed is like the people in your corner, and they gonna be impressed by real stuff anyway. You know what I mean? They gonna be impressed. You're just a decent person. You know what I really love about Sheila? She listens to me. They gonna be impressed by that. You show up in a new dress, they might be like, oh, cool. But you know what I mean? Like it don't. Hey, thank you, Joel Skillful. John still got the iPhone 6. Nice. First and only iPhone. It's Bellum buys your phone first on Amazon a year after it was popular. Saves a lot of money. True, true, true. I have not seen Wakanda Forever yet. Nubia Gold. I might do that today or tomorrow. Actually, I might go tomorrow. What's today? Today Wednesday or Thursday? I might go tomorrow. Ryder, I'm with you. You know, one of the reasons I love a simple life is yeah, you don't have to work so much to support it. And not working so much gives you more free time to live your life. You know, that same money you spend it on this expensive stuff, you can save and spend on the bills A lot of people don't need to make more, they just need to spend differently. You don't need to work, 20 more hours a week. You just need to spend the 40-hour week paycheck different. Like a lot of people. Some people that's not true. But I was supposed to say they still got the apps, they still got support for iPhone 6. Johnny, exactly. You work just enough to support your simple lifestyle, use reliable car, over decades old, well maintained, cheap bills. That's like yes, I'm about to bring up season order again. Didn't have a lot of bills. Expenses were taken care of and a lot of stuff, or they were super cheap. So like I could work at a pretty awesome place that I enjoyed for $10 an hour, 9.90 an hour. You know what I mean? It didn't matter. Didn't have the bills. Facts, John. Facts. When we're kids, you just want this one. Like, yeah, kids don't see race, none of that stuff. Kids just see another kid and want to go play. As adults, we get this stuff like bred into us. And a lot of times it's not our fault. I will admit, a lot of times it's not our fault. Like, if all the people around you moved racially, you start to think that way. When I go back home to Florida, it's different down there. Even people like my friends down there talk about race more than my friends up here because that's just how it is down there. You know what I mean? None of them are racist or anything like that, but like it just race comes up more down there. And since I'm not around it a lot, it annoys me. I'd be like, they're like, what? Like, you know what I mean? But so a lot of it's just it's put into you. It's not natural. Now, like kids don't care. Kids don't care. They just want to play. That's another kid. That's another 5-year-old. I want to go play. It's not until their parents say, "Hey, you can't play with them," that you start to be like, "What?" Yeah, that is one of the things I struggle with when I go back home. I'm like, "Bro, y'all don't shut up about this race stuff." They be like, "What are you talking about?" They don't. I was like, "Bro, it's crazy." But I get it. I'm sure I was the same way when I lived down there. Like I talked about race a lot more. Like that's why now I don't even be trying to. I just talk about people. I love everybody. I love ever saying that and meaning it and attempting to mean it has really changed how I view people because I'll find myself, as we all do, going in other ways. Like, I'll tell me you love everybody. You can't come at that person, that group like that. You love everybody. Even people you don't agree with, you got to love them. So you might as well learn to deal with them. Malabar got blocked for being Latino. I've had that happen too. Um, yeah, I had a down in Florida, there was a girl I was talking to I really was into. Like I really was into her. She was super like and she was like really into me. But she was like, my mom would never let it happen. Um and I wasn't mad as much as like sad. You know what I mean? Um Part of me was sad because of the situation, but then I was younger then, so I didn't really see her side of it. I kind of got like mad at her. If there was any mad, it was towards her. Like I was sad mainly, but if there was any type of like, what? Like, it was to her because I'm like, you a grown woman. We were in our 20s, like early 20s. We was in our 20s. I'm like, but that was before I learned to see it through other people's eyes. I'm like, you can't expect her to turn her whole world upside down to possibly date you and it possibly work out. So, it took me a little bit to forgive her because I'm like, this, you know what I mean? But I respect her telling me, you know what I mean? Like and I could see it pained her to say it because like we was really feeling each other. Like I mean, and it was a small town, so I would see her around, and like it was always like both of us had that look of like, but you know what I mean? It is what it is. Like I say, yeah. Yeah, her loss. No, I'm joking. I don't feel the need to say that. Actually, it's a Drake album now, so I can't. Her no, I'm joking. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel the need to be like her loss. It is what it is. Um, but yeah, at the time, it was the first time that something like that happened. It was kind of like, oh, like what? Like, and Cheryl, I think actually, Cheryl, I think you've got it right. Um, if we seeing race and appreciating the cultural differences, that's the move. You know what I mean? If you're just like, oh, you know what I mean? I really appreciate this group of people for this. That's the move. Because in that environment, you can see everything race, color, creed, sexual preference, and appreciate it. But the problem is in our society, usually when we see it is negative, when we look, it's negative. That's why I'm just like, you know what? I just, you know what I mean? I'm just seeing people. But like, yeah, that would be the move. We all could just appreciate everyone for their differences. But, yeah. But like, I appreciate you saying that, Nubia Gold said she lost out. But like, I hope she found someone like me or better than me. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't, it was a tough situation for her. And I feel like she played it the best way she felt she could at the time. So I hope like she found somebody better. You know what I mean? I hope that she found a good man. Um, you know what I mean? Like I've behaved probably not up to my full potential at times before, and I would like for people to not have any ill will or wish negative stuff on me for it. So like, yeah, just like I hope she found a good man that worked, that her mama liked. You know, I hope she's happy. Like it just wasn't meant to be with us. You know what I mean? Like so yeah, I've been the person who probably wasn't adult enough or didn't take the high road like I should before. So mhm. Shaka, just love everybody. I'm with you. I'm with you. Hey, John, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super chat squad. That's love. So at times, I don't know even what race means anymore. I'm looking forward to the day where we didn't all intermingle so much. Everybody's biracial. Then we can start hating each other based on something else. Uh, but yeah, man, yeah, like I can't wait for everybody to be biracial. Like super chat squad. Thank you, John. But I mean, it's human nature. You know what I mean? They just for some reason we enjoy being divided. Christina, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super chat squad. Hiya. Hey, hey, popping up from behind the clowns. Yes. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen that sticker before. Thank you, Christina. Thank you. Appreciate the love. Thank you. Thank you. Hiya. Ladies first, you got mocked for using country music, for liking country music. Yeah, the fact that we divide music by race is crazy. Super Chat Squad, thank you, Christina. If I didn't say that, thank you. Yeah, the fact that music, there's a right type of music for your skin tone, even though music has to do with the ears. This should dictate. This should dictate the music I listen to. Okay, okay, okay. Now, if they just picked on you for liking Hall and Oates, can we blame them? No, I'm joking. I just want to. I just want to. I just want to. I just don't know any Hall and Oates songs. Waylon Jennings was the best that ever did it to pick a guitar. But ooh, Cheryl's got a weakness, a soft spot for British men. It's the accent. It's the accent. Why don't we, the American accent just isn't sexy, I feel like, to the rest of the world. American money is, but I don't think our accent is sexy. It's not fair. I'm an entitled American and you need to love my accent. No, American accent is sexy in Australia. Book a flight. Book a flight. Book a flight. It's too expensive to go to Australia right now. I think I think I'll wait. Oh, now we're naming Hall and Oates songs. Yo, Jessica, I see you. I see you. I'm not gonna see you in person because you ain't coming now. I'm just I was messing with you. Good to see you. Uh now me personally, I totally agree. Like I think a southern accent is crazy sexy. But like that's it reminds me of home. Like, but does the rest of the world maybe the rest of the world does. I don't know. I have to ask. Yeah, I like a woman with like a nice southern accent, like Alabama or something like that. But oh, that's kind of hot. You know, as a sexy accent, Glorilla. That Memphis accent, Merzik. I by the way, Glorilla. I told you Glorilla was gonna be a star. She there. I called that one by the way. But her accent, I was watching like interviews with her yesterday. That her accent is sexy, like, but it helps she's sexy. The accent on, a gorilla. Might not, sorry, I'm joking. But yeah. Now we just naming Hall and Oates songs. I'm assuming those are Hall and Oates songs. I've heard of none of them. I've heard of a couple of them. I've heard of none of these songs. I listened to, Waylon, Willie, Hank 1, 2, and 3. They don't know about all three Hanks. They don't know all three Hanks. They might know one, they might know Junior. They don't know about Hank 3. Mississippi must stop. They don't they don't listen to country music. They don't. So I went down a Joan Rivers rabbit hole the other day. I don't know how. Like I never knew Joan Rivers was that funny. Anyway, so I was watching all these Joan Rivers interviews, and then YouTube recommended a Dolly Parton interview from like the '80s. Like I always knew Dolly Parton was fine, but like, you know what I mean? I was too young back then. I hadn't really seen. I'd never seen like an interview of her. That bro, Dolly was all around. Like man, like bro, Dolly Parton back in the '80s, like '82. The personality, the looks, forget about the features, just the personality, the looks, the smile, the smart. Like Dolly was like Bay, like bro. They be sleeping on Dolly now. They don't, respect to. I'm never gonna be one of those people that says like I whenever I'm reading YouTube comments and someone's like, oh, they no one now can blah be like. I'm never gonna say one era of people was more talented or more beautiful or whatever, but I will say Dolly was up there. Dolly was up there. You know, there's some beauties out there now, um, but Dolly was up there. You know what I mean? When they make lists of like the overall, I don't think Dolly gets her just due. Maybe on the country list, but like in general, like yeah, Tiara, she was a total package, like and smart. Like you have to do what she did in the manner she did it. A great example of not taking yourself seriously, living the life you for you to come out back then in country music and be like, I styled myself after the town tramp. Nobody was doing that. And to run with that image and just embrace it, like to even not think that was negative. You know what I mean? To have the mindset to be like, you know what? I like the way the town tramp dresses, and that doesn't have to be a bad thing. Like she's human. You know what I mean? Like that was next level. Nobody was doing that in the '80s, '70s, '80s, and to just run with it and like not and but not turn into a tramp. You know what I mean? To be like, I styled myself after the town tramp. I'm still a lady though. But if I wanted to be that, whatever, you know what I mean? Like that was. I've never been to Dolly World. No, no, no. Oh, Loretta Lynn just died. I didn't know that. Sorry to hear that. Charity work. Okay, okay. Yeah, man. Dolly was a special talent. Man. Is a special talent, man. Like back to Glorilla. That is, speaking of special talents, Glorilla. We'll see. I got high hopes for my girl Glorilla. We'll see. We'll see. I got high hopes. You had to look her up, John. You ain't on the FNF train tomorrow. Oh, you got to get into the hip hops. I know. Yeah, you know me. I be all the new young female rappers. Oh, YouTube sends them my way. YouTube recommends all of them. I'll be up on it. All the little, yeah. I'll be on it. That's another thing. What sometimes I have to pull back. You know what I mean? Because a lot of thoughty lyrics going on. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, oh, bad. Yeah, I do like Bad Baby. She ain't been doing. I think she went crazy. She been kind of low key, but I do like Bad Baby. Like she's another one that she had a good team around her, and B, like I think she's really talented, but I think like the fame and all this stuff might have got to her because I think she might have went a little over the, you know what I mean? But I see her coming. I think she's one of the people that, she between the catch me outside stuff and all that, you know what I mean? But I do think she can bring it back around. I want to see her 25, 30. You know what I mean? Like I think just my opinion, I think deep down in there's a decent person. And I just want to see her older when she maybe gets past some of the juvenile stuff. Young and May, yeah, Young and May is yeah. Young and May is it. Like she's another one, like she was like really popping and then she kind of took a step back. But yeah, I like Young and May. Yeah, I like Young and May. Yeah, like she got some lyrics that really she's another like I like the storytellers. So Young and May can like she tells a good story. You know what I mean? Like I like her swag, you know what I mean? So yeah, I like Young and May. Yeah, she need to come back. She need to come back. Yeah, I'm big on swag. I like her swag. Ooh, y'all don't know. Trina's where it's at. Ooh, you went back, didn't you? Okay. All right. 94 in the building. Okay. 92 in the building. Not Trina still makes music. Yeah, yeah. Trina's bad. Yeah. All right, Freak Nick in the building. Freak Nick. Freak Nick in the Freak Nick in the building. You don't know now, ho. Who's bad? Anyway, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna wrap it up. I gotta get me some lunch up in me. Got some other things I gotta take care of. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Really enjoyed this stream. We have some fun. Big shout out to the Super Chat squad. I really appreciate the love. Big shout out to the thumbs uppers, the thumbs downers, the lurkers, the bots, the one person I had to block, all that. But most importantly, to y'all, the community, the YouTube fam. I love each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all so much for the love and the support. Hopefully, we gave some of that back. You got something from the message. Enjoy the rest of your day. Talk to you later.